yeah, I heard doTERRA from Heather too. I work, and I'm here to listen and learn more about doTERRA and how to share and build. And I'm excited to
take over
do this. Take over Philippines. That's what we want.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
It's already happening.
Yeah.
In pretty awesome ways.
I know. City.
Strong work.
I'm Jenica Miller. I'm here because there's no place I'd rather be tonight, actually. I'm super excited to be here. I have been using essential oils, doTERRA essential oils, for about the last 8 years and loving them. And part of that 85% that just uses them and hasn't really thought about building. So I'm really excited to build. And I want to do that to support my family first and foremost, but I also believe in these products and can't think of a better way to earn money, but by sharing something that I think is so impactful and helpful, and really looking forward to doing that with a strong team.
Awesome. Love it. You're in the right place. Yeah.
I'm Jacqueline Hedrick. I'm here with Heather, but I chose to join doTERRA because I feel like doTERRA aligns with the lifestyle that I want to live and like the values of doTERRA. And I want to be a mom one day, and I think that it would be good preparation for that.
Awesome. Awesome. Powerful.
I'm Amy Fulmer. I just resigned today from the top level of another company. And because I realized what I was doing, even though it was blessing my family, it wasn't bringing the freedom or bringing the freedom to other people like I know in my heart can happen. So I'm really excited to be here to really empower people with financial freedom, with freedom from health issues, with freedom of time. And doTERRA is the best place I have found. I looked into lots of places, and I'm so excited. And there are no better people than the Goddard. So I'm really excited to be here to learn and partner with everyone.
We're so happy you're here today. It's a momentous day.
My name is Lindsay, and I'm here because I'm passionate about co-impact sourcing. And I got involved through working with Choice Humanitarian in Nepal, and love the oils, and especially here tonight for the training because I have some young builders, and I'm new enough myself that I'm always loving to refine the skill sets, especially how to teach and duplicate those with others on my team.
Awesome. Welcome, Lindsay. Randall.
Hey everybody, I'm Randall Panagias. About 6 or 7 years ago, my wife started buying the oils off Facebook. I'm a friend, never knew anything about the business. Some years later, the Goddard's bookkeeper, a good friend of mine from college, called me and said, let's do the business. I said, yes, here we go. Didn't know and it took me 6 months to unlearn some things from another MLM company that I was in. But I'm now minimum converted, happy building. It's fun.
Awesome. Helping a lot of people in Argentina.
Argentina, cool. This is my wife, Amy, and I'm really excited to be here. It's been quite a journey to get to this point. But we've seen lots of little miracles along the way, and what I'm passionate about is living and giving incredibly, and I believe that we can do that.
Wow.
With doTERRA. So looking forward to this journey.
I'm Jensen Wood. I'm here with my parents and Mohammed. I've been using oils for 4 years? 4 years. I just got back from a church service mission in New York City, and this opportunity literally landed in my lap a week later, and so I'm just like, wow, this is pretty cool. And so I want to do this to be able to live a life of freedom and availability with a future family, with time and with opportunity. And this is the best vehicle I found. Well, the only vehicle I found, but it's really good.
Hey, you're just right on track. You didn't have to look at those 20 other companies.
She did it for me.
I know. That's good stuff.
I'm Mohammed from Saudi Arabia. I'm a lawyer in Saudi Arabia. I'm here to know more about it.
Wow. I'm so happy you're here. You came so far.
I'm Hollywood, and I am here because because of Heather and Amy, and they have been amazing leaders in where we've come from, and couldn't work with better people.
I'm Dustin Wood. I came with Hollywood.
Now you know why I married Dustin Wood.
It works out. And here to know more. Great company, great people. On behalf of the invitation of the Andersons and daughters.
Yeah. So happy you're here. Yeah.
Scott and Paris Robertson. We have families in doTERRA, and we kind of met when the Anderson kind of brought it more to our attention and introduced us to it. We started using it and saw really great results, especially on our children. And we're happy to be here and
Yay, results. Yay.
I'm Jim Stedman. Paris is actually my daughter. She talked to us about
Strong work.
This, and I'm looking to learn more about doTERRA and looking at making a little different direction with my career. So
Awesome. That's great. Nice.
I'm Jessica Derry. I'm here because I really want to share and help others with essential oils. I've been doing it for about 4 months and literally kind of got started with just a simple lemon essential oil I got given to me. And I was kind of sold.
Oh, wow. Amazing what one oil can do, huh? Crazy.
I'm Heather Anderson, and I am here because I want to bring health and wealth to as many people as I can, which equals freedom. And I want to make 20 millionaires. 20 people who are millionaires.
I want to be.
We can together make it happen.
I'm on your list.
I'll pass the clipboard around.
Usually when Heather's done talking, I don't get much time. So I didn't know if I was going to have time. So we're here for what Heather said and with Amy. Specifically for me, I've done a lot of business over the years. I'm interested in the business plan. I'm also very interested in helping other people gain freedom so that they can live life. This kind of started when I was in Mexico, building a house for a family that needed a home, and looking at them and saying, okay, we built you a house, but now when your kids need a house, what are they going to do? They don't have any money to do that. And so that's one of the main reasons for me.
If it's not sustainable, it's not real freedom, huh? So we're here for real freedom. Awesome. Wow, Jared, thanks. Giovanni.
My name is Giovanni Riveros, from Colombia. I'm just curious, really curious. So I want to learn, and let's see. Thank you.
We're so glad you're here.
Me too.
Go Colombia. We have an adopted son right now from Colombia living with us.
So my name's Andy Goddard, and I am the lucky man connected to this goddess warrior here. And Natalie's vision has always been a healer in every home, and my vision is a warrior at every gate. And what that means to me is freedom, time freedom, the ability to create and live your passion, live your purpose, and we haven't found a better vehicle than doTERRA. So we're at a place now where we don't have to work anymore, but we do it as a passion and a mission. So that's why we're here.
There are more people that need freedom, right? So
we're glad you're here.
We're so glad we're here. And
we've got some people online.
We would love for those of you that are joining us online to just pop in why you're here into the notes. And we're gonna be live with our live audience, but feel free to we want you to weigh in. We want you to join in as much as it works for you. So I'm going to invite everyone, this is kind of a crazy request, to turn off your ringer all the way and put your phone all the way away. And then if you need to break out, we're going to have a couple breaks, and then we're going to have dinner at 6, and you'll have time when you can check in, right? But I want to invite you, just our intention is that in the next 3 hours, you have a strong foundation from which you can share with power. And you can do what you came here to do with doTERRA. So during this time, we're going to give you an overview so you can see what the whole process of doing doTERRA looks like. And we're going to go down into the most basic things. We're going to practice doing these things. And you're going to leave tonight with samples, people that samples that you're ready to share, classes booked, all of those things. So we're going to make that happen in the next 3 hours, okay? Who's in? Good? Okay. And we want this tailored to you, especially. So if you have questions about what we're talking about, and it feels like we're going to the next thing, it's great to ask a question right then. But listen long enough that maybe, we can take care of it. It's coming, stick with us. If you have other questions, there's some extra markers right there on the wall. You can write it down over there or make a little note, and we'll do like full Q&A after, right? But we're just going to start out. You want to pop up the PowerPoint? We'll use this that way. So I love this whole launch process because you're here because you found something good and you want to share it and you want to pass it on, right? And how many of you were able to pull out that build guide that you completed and brought tonight, or pull out the one that you just picked up, okay? And tonight you're going to know how to organize these in the right order and everything. You're going to understand what they all are by the end. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. We talked about some of our intentions, but we want you to quickly get clear on what you want to leave today knowing and leave today feeling. So write that down real quick. We've found that if you get clear on your intentions, they're met. And if you don't get clear, you get a lot of whatever. So get clear real quick. Just take 1 minute. What do you want to leave today knowing and leave today feeling? Anybody else need paper? And take a pen and pass it on. Okay, anybody need more time? And pull out your build guide as you're completing this. Okay. So we're going to anchor our commitment. One of the most important things is when you begin launching your business is to be clear and committed to it, right? Because any good things, are you going to run into issues along the way, guys? Yeah. Any great thing is going to require more of you than you have to give today. But you will become a better person in that process. And so if you'll anchor your commitment and take a look and get clear on your partnership with doTERRA, that will serve you going forward. We chose doTERRA for a lot of reasons, and we heard about some of the reasons that you chose doTERRA for. But we have, over the last 11 years, just been so grateful for our partnership with doTERRA. I love that they take care of all the shipping to every country, everywhere, and all the product registration, and all of the convention, and all of the new product development, and everything like that, and the science, so that we know the very best things to be working on to bring to the people. And I can focus on connecting with the people and sharing those solutions. And together with that partnership, we make a really powerful partnership. I hope you've had some time to do this. If you haven't, just do it while we're talking right now. So when we build, you're going to change your life, and you're going to create a better income, and you're going to change others' lives. Okay? So think about some of the things that would make the biggest impact in your life. Do you want to earn more? Do you want to work smarter? Do you want to do more of what you love? And if you want, these erasable pens are amazing. Let it get all the way around. You can use part of your, you can write in your build guide, and then you can even erase it if you need to give it back.
Oh, really?
Oh. White pens.
Oh, good. We have one.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, which one? Build guide? Yeah.
That's nice.
So think about that, you know, like at different phases of our life, we decide, we just have different values, you know. The more and more teenagers I have, the more I'm like, I need to have time freedom, because I've got to be able to stay up late till when they come up, you know, home, and I've got to be able to get those talks in. So whatever you value more in your life, if you understand that and you're clear about where you're going, then we can be clear on where you want to be. And there's lots of ways that you can play with doTERRA. You know, a lot of people will just share just to get their product paid for. And like Jenica was saying, like 85% of people that join doTERRA only use the product and never share the product. But that other 15%,
I've shared like with tons of people where I'm like,
but
I love this.
Did
but
you ever
not
sign
me.
anybody up? Yeah. So, I mean, everybody shares doTERRA, but actually sharing so someone else enrolls and get the oils in their home, it's just 15% of the people. Yeah. So a lot of those people choose to get their product paid for, right? They'll pay for their LRP just by sharing a little bit, right? And these are some typical goals. Some will supplement and some will replace their income. So where are you? What do you want to create with your doTERRA business? And, you know, be clear. Hey, I'm going for this one, and this is my long-term goal. Because tonight we'll have our goals set in our launch guide and and this will give us a good framework. So make sure you're clear right here. I want you to just fill in the blank for this sentence. You know, once you have a little bit more clarity, it's, I am creating what with my doTERRA business?
And the more specific, the better. I love 20 millionaires.
Yeah. Right. How powerful is that? How engaged are you in? Oh, Heather, I want to be a part of that. Let me in.
I already got a couple sign ups.
Yeah.
You gotta get the clipboard.
Okay.
What do you want to say? I'm creating like
I am creating 20 millionaires with my
Oh,
business. I am
okay, okay.
creating,
Time for that.
yeah,
Okay.
any of these
Like it.
things under
Okay.
there. I'm creating more help for 10 families in Peru.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody want to share what they're creating? Heather shared what she's creating. Anybody else get clear and want to give a shout out?
Right now?
Yeah.
Well, I'm creating a source of income to replace my current income that allows me to help other people to help other people. Makes sense?
Yes. Perfect. Right? You know what you're wanting to replace, what your goals are for. That's awesome. So again, your clarity is going to create certainty in what you do to launch your doTERRA business. So, you know, if you want to spend more time, if you didn't get to spend as much time in the build guide as you wanted in preparation for this, take some more time, right? Like wake up in the morning, do a little meditating on, hey, what am I really creating? What do I really value right now? Because whatever you can create and conceive, you can achieve, right? If you can believe you can create 20 millionaires, do you think Heather's going to create 20 millionaires? Who in the room thinks Heather? Hold on.
Because I'm one of them.
Hold on.
Putting
it on my vision board, guys. Hold on. Really taking a picture here. Woo-hoo! We believe in you. Yes.
I gotta believe you.
That's one of the craziest things that I realized when I started doTERRA was like, I looked around and I was thinking it was all going to be these really like snazzy people that were so amazing. And really they were the people that just believed. And the one thing they had in common was belief. So we kept watching that as we went along. We're like, oh, they're not even the most sophisticated people, you know? They just believe they can do it, and then they do it. That's it. And I was like, hey, if that's it, I can do that formula. So get clear, and then you know what you can believe in, and that action will naturally follow. So as you looked at these, which level of success is going to fulfill your dreams? And how much time are you willing to invest to achieve that success? And just check those boxes or write down in your notes so you're clear about that. And we're going to go into more detail on your schedule and that kind of thing. Any questions here? Okay, so what we're going to talk about, these are the 3 things that we do in doTERRA. We use, share, and then we teach other people to do the same. But if you go into more detail on that, it's this process called pipes, okay? And tonight you're going to be able to see this all drawn out and get some of the nuts and bolts and maybe some of the nuances that we haven't covered before. So pipes stand for, you guys are seeing this right here, preparing you We invite, present, and enroll our prospects, and then supporting your team and community. And that's really all that there is to doTERRA. And what's beautiful about seeing this process is when you can see it laid out, when you can understand those basic things, you can duplicate it. You know that you can do it. And then what do other people see and know when they see it? I can do that. I can do that. And they know they can do it too, right? What does that do? Builds belief. What do you have? Then you have 1 millionaire. Then you have 2. Then you have 3, 4. It just grows, right?
Your belief, yeah.
And Empowered Success is a really cool way that doTERRA has all these resources that you have right here. You get to from doTERRA.com. Amy, today we were even finding it's at the bottom of the page. You can just go to the bottom of the page, even if you're not just typing in Empowered Success. But lots of resources there. Some of the things that we talked about that we won't go over tonight is some of the videos that they have to support you in your launch. And it's just great. Like, you can listen to those videos, you can watch those videos. Great resources there. So each of these guides has a purpose. And again, you can share the things that we learn or these guides with people to help them know how to act and build their belief. You can also download them and share them with people anywhere. Like, how many people have you shared with, hey, over in Spain or the Philippines, right? You can email them a PDF and they have it in front of them, or you can do a Zoom call and be showing it on the screen just like we're showing it now so people can see that. And it's so powerful to have that as a worldwide way to just be able to do your business. You can do your business anywhere in the world, and you can help anybody anywhere in the world because of what we have.
Natalie, can I give a plug for these real quick?
Yeah.
So my experience really quick from where I came from was that we would get some training materials and then they weren't very good. And so we were having to kind of create our own. So when I first met these guys, I'm like, hey, what about this and this? And they're like, oh, here, let me show you. And I'd be like, okay, push it aside, but tell me really how it is. And it took me a while to realize after going through these that, like, this is the money. These are gold and they really have exactly what you need. So I know sometimes we were like, okay, I just want to get started. What should I do? Go to these, go through the process. Like, all these guys, top leaders, have really put everything right in here. So don't toss them aside or the videos online aside. Like, it is what we need. So for me.
And you can just use it as a backbone. We spent 7 years like refining the process and making our own thing and making our own thing and making a new version of our own thing. And we would use it in the US, we'd use it in other markets, and then we'd get feedback and we'd make it again, right? And so how beautiful that, again, it's like doTERRA has now brought this in-house. You can get it with your LRP. People can get it in every market. This is what they're training on every training, at every convention, pre-training, post-training, So you've got your people not like, oh, look at this other shiny object here and there, like we had years. We lost almost a whole decade with like, I think this is the way you do it. And I think this is the way you do it, when if you just stick to the principles and then you bring you, right? You're in a class. Your magic is within you. So the guides are that baseline principle, and they're going to help you bring your magic to the world and to the people you're meant to reach. On this page, down at the very bottom, on the right-hand side, you'll see, this is just the Empowered Success main page, but it has this link with all these flags on it, and that's where you can find every language that's already been translated.
Spanish.
Yep.
Can I find it there in that?
Yep. Yeah. Right there. So go down to the bottom of this Empowered Success page, and you'll see the flags, and then it has lots of options after that. You're just going to click International Empowered Success, guys.
International. Okay.
Yep. Okay. So what's powerful is when you leverage these guides, right? Like, if I have a lever, then how much heavy lifting do I have to do? Right? because I have a lever. So I want you guys to remember you have two incredible levers. Number one, the oils, right? This incredible product. Here's some neroli. Pass around if you're not going for a roli. Some lime. But leverage the oils and leverage the guides because they will make what you do easy. And then you could focus in your strengths and gifts on what you need to do. It's almost like having, right? Like if you had an assistant that you could access for free all the time, would you use that assistant or not?
Yeah.
I mean, it would totally be like, hey, how can I get that assistant out there today, right? Hire the guides, let them work for you because they each have a certain job title of what they're going to do. This Healthy Can Be Simple guide works, is very first. We'll go through that first. And its job is to help you share and invite. The class guide its job is to help you enroll prospects. Do we even get class guides? Maybe we're all out of class guides. Yeah. That's what this one looks like, magic. And then the Live guide is to help you enroll in LRP. The Build guide helps you commit to build. And the Share guide helps people commit to host a class. Okay? So that's their job. That's what they do. And then you see in the Launch guide is helping you launch your business to elite. Okay? As you got to this page of the Build guide, you had 3 steps to prepare. And it's so great because how many of us can handle more than 3 things? Like, you know, attention span of goldfish, right? They say. And so these 3 things will just help you get started right. So this is on your last page. If you haven't done any questions on these 3 things. Yes.
I have a question. So on the Share, which is hosting a class, is this something that the advocate uses, or would I give that to a hostess or host, or both?
Both. So first, what we're going to do, just like it says on this page, is like, oh, okay, number 1, I'm going to live the wellness lifestyle. I'm going to make sure I'm living it, because how can I ever share it with anybody else if I'm not living it, right? So what's number 1? I'm going to go to a class and get enrolled, right? Some of us are still working on the enrolled part, but we're getting there. So, how many of you have been to a class already? How many of you have been to 20 classes or 40 classes or taught 20 classes, right? So you make sure you've got that covered. And then if you haven't had, we should probably do like just a wellness consult. I'll show you segments of that tonight so that you can just understand that process. But that's the second item, right? And then just use your products according to your daily plan. You made a daily plan here when you went through the Live guide. And then you're going to use the Share guide to help you know how to share. So that's the first item of number 2. You've started your names list right here. And then what's the second thing? You're reading through the Share guide and you're scheduling and hosting some presentations, right? So first, you're going to use it to help you share, right? So that your sharing just goes right. But then once you've used the guides for yourself, then what are they for? They're to duplicate, right? So you're using them to help other people. So the answer is yes to both. And then you've got your launch guide, right? And this is where we're going to go tonight. Tonight, we're going to really dive into the launch guide so you know how to do that. And then I want you, if you haven't chosen right here, I am elite rank in 30 days is the outrageous goal. 60 days is the target goal. 90 days is the average, and this is what doTERRA let us print because they don't print. You know, they have to print like reasonable things. Whatever. We're like, whatever. Yeah, anybody can hit elite in 30 days if they're focused on it, right? So it's not so outrageous, but you can choose that. So I invite you to choose that and mark that right now. When do you want to be to elite or above, right? Do you want to be to elite by the end of this month in October? And then it's just taking you to some of the other videos that are going to support you along the way. Any questions here? And those of you that have your names list and we're going to use this all along the night tonight. So you're going to go far. So pull out your launch guide now. This is your magic. You chose to build. Now we're like, okay, let's get there. We're launching our business. Why do you launch a business and not just start a business? What do you think?
Oh, so you just want to have a plan for how you're going to get there.
Yeah, you want it to be calculated and wise, right? Jensen.
When a business starts, it really needs to like take off really, really strong. Otherwise, it'll just crash. And so I watched one of the launch videos. She described it like a rocket. It uses most of its fuel in the beginning, and so really, when you take off, you need to take off.
That's right. And if you'll use this to help that energy build, it'll save you so much, right? How much of a rocket's energy is used in the launching process?
I don't know the numbers.
It's like 85% of it, right? So if you'll just get off the ground right, man, then it's just going to take 15% to keep going. Okay? So we're going to make sure that this is, you're launching straight, your trajectory is on, and you're moving forward. Amy?
I was going to say, when an airplane gets off the ground, it has to be at 100% throttle. It can't be at 95% or it's not getting in the air. And so it's so key to remember that, like full throttle. But then once you get in the air, you're not 100% throttle anymore, you know, because the momentum is going, you're up and going.
That's super key right now. So in order to launch your business, you are full throttle.
100.
Yep.
Not 99.
And if you're not, that's okay. Everybody has different things going on in their life. But how long is it going to take you to get up in the air at full throttle? A minute, right? You know, but how long is it going to take you to get your business started if you're not on full throttle, right? Sometimes it takes 3 years, and whatever process we're in, that's fine. You know, I just think it's a lot more efficient to go full throttle and use the momentum that's working for you and with you. Okay. So open to this big spread right here in launch. And this is just giving you the overview, guys, because there's always a belief level at every rank that you'll see. And that belief level initially is in the product. So if you have belief in the product, raise your hand. Pretty easy, right? Like, that's why getting to elite, you're like, we got this. We have experienced the benefits of the product. It really works. I'm just going to naturally share it, right? So the action to get to elite is just share with 45 plus, enroll 15 plus, and launch 1 to 3 builders. Okay? Those are the key things that we're honing in on. And the results are you're going to change lives, you're going to grow personally, and you're going to create residual income. And along the first, you're going to come over here. What I think is powerful is to see where you're really going. You're not just going to elite, which is 3,000 PV. You're going to launch yourself to elite, and then you are going to launch your 3 builders to elite, which is going to take you to the rank of silver. And then you're going to help those 3 builders launch 3 builders, which will take you to platinum. So you can see average income for platinum is $9,000. So about the first time people hit platinum, usually it's about $6,000. right? This is an average. It's got some people on the low end, some on the high end, but we have to print it that way. But that's where you're going. I'm doing it, then I'm duplicating it, then I'm helping others duplicate it, and this is where I'm going to be. Okay? So, 1 to 2 weeks pre-launch, and some of you have been doing this for a little while, is this portion, which is preparing you and inviting others. Okay? And these, you can see, this is kind of showing you your timeline, but it's also showing you the contents of the guide and where to go to look for support on this or that, okay? So we're gonna focus on preparing and inviting before our launch month, and then in our launch month, we're gonna execute, right? Get into the air full throttle. Okay, and it's just kind of showing where the guides line up again, okay? Again, the pipes, you'll notice, the pipes we just thought were a great way to say what we do, and it's super easy to teach and remember, and you'll notice, have you ever heard Robert Kiyosaki talk about creating a pipeline, right? And what we're doing with doTERRA is creating this pipeline, and we do it every day by just preparing, inviting, presenting, enrolling, and supporting. And it's not crazy rocket science, right? It's just doing those little things that make a difference day after day. And that compound interest, the compounding of that just comes together, and it's really powerful. So we're going to talk about step 1, which is your prepare. And so we're going to fuel your launch on page 4. We're going to look at that. So this is where, the vision that you've written down, we're going to fuel that vision so that can become a reality. And for the people that don't look at the end of the build guide and do it here, this is a reminder of doing those 3 things at the end of the build guide, okay? So it's almost just like, okay, we're catching that in case you haven't done that. So glance through here. You should be caught up to this point. Raise your hand if you have any questions, but then I want you to drop into your goals. Remember I said, hey, you're going to choose when you're going to reach elite. So you're going to circle that, but you're also going to establish your 90-day goal and a 1-year goal, okay? So 90 days, it's really easy for us to look in. It's like a trimester or a season or whatever. That's a great goal to be able to have. So let's give an example. Anybody know what their goals are already? Or, yes, you're like, I got my goals.
Yes,
I'm ready.
my goal is gold in 90 days and blue diamond in 1 year.
Awesome. So her 90-day goal is gold. And you could look back in your build guide to see how much that is per month, right? So if we look back here in the build guide, average gold income is $4,875 a month. Probably when you first hit it, it's not going to be that high, but then it will work right up to around that $5,000 range. So I would say, hey, does that sound pretty good to create that kind of income in 90 days? Pretty powerful, right? And even if that was $3,500 because you were hitting the edge of it, not quite at your $1,500 bonus and da-da-da, that's really powerful income. And then her 1-year goal is at Carrot Blue Diamond. And so she's saying, I want to get to gold, and then I'm going to help 5 people get to gold 1 year from now. Okay, so you'll see across the bottom of all the stats of the people that have achieved these, how long it took them, the average months to achieve. So these have a lot of outliers, right? Okay, we got to turn the AC on again. How are you guys doing? It just, you're under the headlights. I know. It was like cold for a second. And then I was like, okay, I'm hot. So some people, it took them 58 months. But how many of those people like used oils for 4 years and then decided to build a business, right? So those kind of numbers are skewed that way. Is it realistic for Amy to get there in 12 months? Absolutely. Okay. Who else has?
Jared wants to share.
Okay, Jared.
Scott. I'm teasing.
When are you going to reach elite, Jared?
We're going to reach elite within 15 days.
Yeah. Of signing up whenever,
that's right.
as soon as that is.
Yeah. No, so I think our
I think
90
you might
goals-
reach elite within 24 hours of signing up, but
I think ours is very similar to Amy's. I'm a little competitive, so she's going for blue time and I'm going for presidential.
that's the best, right? Whatever gets them going. That's awesome. Okay, I want to hear from somebody else. Just you can be totally practical.
Yeah,
too. Okay.
I don't know how practical it is, but my
vision.
because she's all the brains and the looks and everything else. Yeah, elite in 30, silver in 90, and diamond.
Awesome.
There you go.
Awesome. Yeah. Super healthy, right?
Yeah.
And you can always like overshoot it, right? But I love to write down, I'll take this and then you turn it into I am elite on or before, right? October 31st, 2019. I am silver. I want to hear you say it right after I say it. So I am silver on or before. What's that?
On or before January 9th.
December?
1, 2, 3, December 31st.
Oh my gosh, I just got so excited when you said that. Like it's really real. It felt like totally, I felt that. Oh, very shiny Christmas. I'm so excited.
It's so powerful, right?
Okay, it is. It's hot.
Just feel it.
No, but the reality, when you use your words to declare it and you start bringing in that clarity, right, that we're getting here, and the belief that's building all the time, boy, you've got power.
It's making my heart
And you're
beat faster.
launching.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And oil for that.
Way to declare it. Yes. Yes, Jenica.
So I'm struggling a little bit because I want to be like saying it so confidently. But I hear Amy say hers and I'm like, well, I'll just follow her and watch everything she does and do the same thing. But I don't already have a room full of people in here. So maybe is that not realistic for me?
Well, I think it's wise to be like, okay, where am I and what feels right to me, right? Because you don't have to be Amy. You
like to follow you.
are Jenica, and you
Do
can
it.
follow, Amy, but maybe it's more along these lines of diamond in 8 months or 9 months or a year. But these are things that, sometimes I'll write it down and then it's like the next morning I'll be like, is that right? Does that feel right still? Does that resonate with me? When you hear the woods start saying, I am silver on or before December 31st, 2019, you can feel, right? Can you feel that? You can feel it. And that's when we have like way more power than just within ourselves, right? Because we've got all of this unseen power that's just helping us to create that, right?
Well, I feel like for me and my goals too, because it's easy to you can set the goals and you can reach the rank, but then there's that other the organic rank, like the rank that hits mid-month that you don't have to think about. So that sometimes in my goal is this is what rank I want to hit without any of the hustle. This is where I want to get my business. So sometimes when I think about that timeline, just what quality of rank I'm looking at.
I love that. And it's a process, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen as you compound those pieces. And one of the things that we've learned over the last 11 years and watching a lot of people hit rank is we have felt like it's helped us to shoot for the stars. And then if we hit the top of the mountain, how good are we doing? We've hit the top of the mountain because we shot for the stars, right? So I've watched, so there's just a balance, and you'll figure out that balance for yourself. But the more you just check in on what's right for me, what aligns for me, then, you know, and that's something that we do at the end of the month before, right? It's like, what are we going for this next month? Just like you're seeing in this process. We're not just like, okay, today is October 1st, so we are kind of checking in. But this preparation phase and knowing that before the month you're in and just checking in, that's so powerful because you can help your team members know, hey, this is what I'm feeling. What are you feeling? Let's check in, because we do this together. doTERRA is not a one-man band. Yes, if you're looking for that, you should head down the street. They have eggs down the street. You know, they can get it one-man band, right? But like nothing else in life that's super significant happens, you know, with one person. This requires teamwork, Jared.
And the thing I like about the build guide is that next page shows you kind of a time commitment. So if your time commitment is 3 hours a week and you want to be a diamond in a year, you got to be realistic with yourself also.
Yeah.
Don't set yourself up for failure. So, and I think that's why you said everybody's on a different path. If you can only do 3 hours, great, do it. But set a realistic goal and then shoot for it.
Yeah, and be peaceful with whatever that path is, you know. We've got a friend that's going through divorce right now, in the middle of it, you know, and it's like, okay, what's your realistic path this month? Let's just be realistic.
Yeah, not for forever. I
No.
like that you said that. What's
Yeah.
your path this month?
Yeah.
Because it can change next month.
It
can change
totally
next
can.
week. And so it's okay to say, you know what, I can only do it for, 3
Yeah.
hours this week. That's all I, But I like that you said that.
Trust the process,
That it can
trust the
change.
timing. It totally can, and it can change fast, right? You pay attention to how you feel and follow that process. Okay? Yeah.
I was gonna, go ahead.
No,
Oh, I was gonna say, Jenica, what I feel like with you is to believe in yourself and don't rein your heart back and give it space. Like listen and see what that looks like.
So I have time. Like, this is what I'm going to do with my time. So I'm like, well, I have time to
Send it.
be
Yeah.
you know.
So just
But I just
believe.
haven't prepared all the people. I mean, since Amy and I first talked about it, I've been talking to people.
Yeah.
I just don't have this amount. So I'm like, well, maybe I can't.
No.
I don't know. And I
Those
don't
are
want
the
to get.
fears. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, tell me what you said on the right side.
I said you just gotta believe in yourself and then listen to your heart. Like I feel like you're reining your heart back. Like, oh no. But just let feel it for a minute. Let it go let it go. See what it says.
So powerful, because usually the first voice is, you can do this, you've got this. And there's a follow-up
Yep.
voice
Which
that's
is what
like,
you said.
oh, I don't know if I could really do this. You know, Amy's got a room full of people, whatever that means, you know, like you could create the same, you could create more. Who knows, right? Like it's about you getting clear and just following that and trusting the process. I've had some people, like it took them 60 days to find the right leaders or 90 days to find the right leaders. But then all of a sudden they had the right people in place and they were like diamond in 30 more days. You know, it's like, oh, those were the right people. So trust it.
I know we're on time crunch, but I just want to say, when I was at the general meeting, they showed a picture of Michael Phelps swimming, and he's like looking ahead, and he's like going for it. And in the background, there's another swimmer just behind him who's looking at Michael Phelps. And so I just think that's an incredible principle. Like, there's nothing wrong with having role models.
Yeah.
And people who we aspire to be like, but it really sets us back if we start to compare ourselves and feel down because of the success that others are achieving. And so I just think that role models, I have so many role models that I love and aspire and get advice from, but their success doesn't make my success less. And so I thought it was really cool.
So powerful. And have you noticed how you gauge, you know, sometimes it's like, well, I don't want to go faster, right? Did you hear from Jared and Heather? They're like, hey, we're going to go faster if we're set to go faster, right? So not holding ourselves back and reining ourselves in, but allowing that space. Thank you. Great share. Okay. So next step from that, make sure you, again, have done these foundational pieces, and it'll make all the difference to fuel your launch. So we're going to
Ask a quick question.
Yeah.
That last checkbox, we're on the live box. It says learn more by regularly using an oil reference guide and participating in continuing education. Where would you say, is that happening
great-
like on a team basis? Is that just my self-guided learning, or is there a place
Great
you
question. So on the back of the Live Guide, there's all these recommendations of where to learn more. And doTERRA now, before we were like, okay, we're teaching a monthly training on a brand new topic, and here we go, and we're creating this big event, and da-da-da. And then some of our builders didn't get the help that they needed around the world because we were putting on all those continuing education things. So doTERRA started putting together like fabulous continuing education and finding like the best person in the whole company on this topic. And they have the daily drop, but this Empowered Life series, the very first thing on the back of your Live Guide right here, is phenomenal. And what I will do is, just for my personal development, I will listen to something about oils so I can keep learning more about my product, right? You listen to convention, you might want to listen to parts of it again, you know? So that you can just be taking that in. So I just build that into my personal development, so that's happening on a regular basis, okay? We're just gonna talk as if. So again, on this page here, you've got one of the first items is getting your LRP set on that 100 PV template. I just talked to a Blue Diamond today. Last night we're like, why aren't our numbers, like in the back office of doTERRA, it's so powerful because you can just see, it'll show you like, hey, you're 200 PV away from this rank or whatever. It has a striking distance, and it'll show you and your main people that you're watching and where that striking distance is. So we're like glancing at it last night and noticing that our Blue Diamond over in Hungary has his LRP at 97 PV. So we text him, no response. And this morning he reached out, he's like, oh my goodness, like I didn't realize, what can I do? I'm like, call your account rep, you know, and they'll try and help you out the first time that happens. But guess what? What do you think he lost last month because he had a 97 PV?
How much?
They'll get it fixed before his big commissions go out on the 15th. Okay, so he'll get paid all of his unilevel and everything like that. But they check every week. They're going in to say, hey, is your LRP in place so we can pay you all these fast start monies? And if that is not at 100 PV, guess what? You don't get those fast start monies. And this is not crazy. doTERRA wants you to get that money, but you just always keep your LRP over 100, whatever template it is. If you're changing things out, just have a Melissa in there until you know exactly what it is, right?
It's true. I say it happened. I lost commissions entirely one month because one of my builders accidentally didn't change her LRP, and she returned it before commissions went through. And again, that's not something they can repair. So just even communicating with your team members, because if you're down a leg, your entire rank changes. And
So you probably lost like two.
I lost an entire leg, so I don't reach the rank. So I only had 2 legs qualifying instead of the 3 that I would have needed.
So that it
that month. So
maybe
it was on the
made
front line.
$500 difference
Yeah.
or something like that,
Yeah,
which
no, I mean,
can
it was
be
more.
significant, even more.
But I mean, again, just like communicating to them the importance, because again, it is an accident. Sometimes the wrong LRP goes through, anything these other people get products, and
Yeah.
just making sure that they even know the timeline with commissions and stuff, because that stuff can happen.
So keep that template in place above 100, and then you'll never miss out on commissions. Okay, the very first month, this is a question that pertains to a lot of you guys. The very first month, you get your enrollment kit. And the next month, you can get your LRP. But you can already set up your LRP from the moment you get that enrollment kit. You have that LRP template in place. So let's say you enrolled today on October 1st. Well, you could set up your LRP right now, and it could run on November 1st. And you're going to get paid commissions this whole time. And then November 1st, you're going to have that order go out. And then you're going to have another whatever coming, right? So then you'll get paid commissions, da-da-da. So only when you are not watching, like, don't get it to 97. It's just crazy, right?
Can I tell them a strategic tip?
What?
We usually don't set up our LRP for the first day of the month because we don't know what the specials are going to be. And so we usually set it up for like the 3rd to the 6th because that gives you a couple days. Like this month, there's a 200 PV special. Like
Really
you order
awesome
200 PV
special.
and you get all this free
Copaiba
Copaiba,
soft gels, Copaiba oil.
So strategically,
Yeah.
it's always good to order by the 15th, so you get the free product a month.
Mhm.
But usually not the first day or two, just give you time to adjust if you
Yeah.
want to.
I will also say a recommendation is to have, if you have frontline builders, is to actually just tell them to plan on the product a month at 125, because then that guarantees you your fast start for reaching 600. So if you really are like setting up a team and you want it to be a little bit more secure for your basic power 3, tell them 125. It gets them the free product a month, have them hit it by the 15th, so you don't have to worry, and then you have all your volume needed.
That's what all of our materials used to say, and then doTERRA made us say 100
Yeah.
plus. I'm like, keep the plus on there. Because
Well, 125 is what
I totally agree. Do you understand what she's saying about the Power 3? Let me draw that out real quick.
Yeah.
Because if you've got, here's, so this is Jensen, right? And he signed up these 3 people, and he's at 125, and they're at 125. That's
The 150.
the
That's
150.
fine.
Right?
So we do
But
like
usually what happens, because you've got to have 600 right here, right? But if they're at 125, how much of the time do they get more than 125?
Majority.
Yeah, like people have a hard time getting everything they want for 125. But if they're getting that for that product of the month and everything, then you usually are going to have another 100 that comes in, right? And the back office will track it. It'll show you, hey, your Power 3 is set up for level number 1, level number 2, level number 3. You can just see it in there. Andy, you should maybe show us a couple things from just how it looks in the back office so
Yeah.
they can know what that looks
Yeah.
like.
Can I
We'll
ask a
pull
quick
that up
question
and
too?
show it
So
at the
you
same
gave
time.
the example, like, okay, let's say on the 3rd you ordered 150, but there's that 200 PV deal. So if I do a second order of another 50 before the 15th, does that, it's cumulative or it has to be in one order?
That just barely changed, and I think it's cumulative
Cumulative
now.
now? Yeah. Really?
Oh.
So
So
what I would do is call your
So
account
that's-
manager.
is that-
Sometimes when I've done that in the past, I just call them. It's like even when they did the 200 promo for frankincense, like
now
are they doing it on their own?
Now they are doing it through customer service
Oh, okay,
and da, da,
good.
da. But you may have to call in to get that. So I always just put it on one order because we have had to do that up until now.
Okay.
But doTERRA's, they're moving from an old back office to a new back office, and I think we can control it now, right? So that we can add up those
Some software
orders.
changes. I was never on that.
We're just so happy to be on our own system that's robust, made for doTERRA. So they just invested.
So they host it in-house.
They don't host it in-house, like it's hosted way some
Do you
other
know what
place,
they
but
use
they
for
just
backend?
built their
InfoTrax.
full.
Oh, really? Okay.
They used InfoTrax previously.
And looking ahead, in December, they always do 200 PV is what, is it a frankincense? Just one frankincense, anyone know?
Yeah, typically.
December?
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah, 200 PV. you get a free
One frankincense, okay. So that's something to look forward to get your PVs on. 200, yeah.
Yeah. Can you guys see?
this one right here. So this is your main dashboard in your back office. And
I'm going to share with these guys.
thanks. So right here you can start seeing your rank, right? And then right under here, that's where you'll always see Power of 3. And if you want to see more, you can see full detail or filtered detail, and it will show you more about that, right? So we have like one little break on our second 1500, and so we're just working on that, and then we'll get that extra bonus every month.
So you would call that a little break, you said?
Yeah. Then I work with them. Hey,
what's your plans?
Hey, let's review. How are you using your product? How are you loving your product? Okay. So I want to, before we go into more comp plan stuff, unless you have any other questions there, I want to go into the key to doing this, which interesting enough is the answer to any problem in your back office is actually being a solutions provider. So do you know how I create a ton of value? I solve people's problems, or I bring solutions to the table so they can choose to solve their own problems, right? But this is the most powerful thing that we do in doTERRA. And if I could tell you one thing and then we could go home, it would be this: just be a solutions provider. Okay. And that, I don't know if that sounds crazy to you. I talked to one lady, she's like, what does that even mean? You know, being a solutions provider means, yesterday I'm talking to, my son is coming home from a service mission. And so I was talking to him, and he, his companion's mom has some health issues. And so I got her details, and I was able to have a call with her and find out, oh, she just talked about this ear pain that she was having. I'm like, oh, like we could take care of that with basil or Melaleuca. You just have to rub it right here, and it's going to help you so much. And she's like, thank you so much, because I can't take medication because I contracted AIDS when I was young. Mm-hmm. So then come to find out, her husband had AIDS, and it had made him so he wasn't thinking straight, right? So he thinks like a 6-year-old. And do you think they could use some of what doTERRA has to offer? So in one day, the most important work I ever do is bringing those solutions to people, right? And do you guys think that's uncommon or so crazy? Well, those conditions are pretty intense, right? But how many people do you meet every day that have problems that they need answers to? How many people are praying for help with their health or their emotional well-being? Like the new products. Today we could buy the products from Convention, the adaptive for anxiety and depression and some of those things. We're not broadcasting to too many people. So I can talk about that. And the very first day, the very first moment, I'm like, we've got to get that. I've got to get some more. I gave away a lot of my adaptive. I need some more myself, right? That's when we know we have real solutions. So amazing, all the people that I thought of when I was there in Convention, and that I think of even now, of like, okay, who needs adaptive and how can I share it? How can I best share that with them? So we're going to practice just being a solutions provider in some of the things that we do tonight. But you realize you can address about 80% of health priorities at home with this. So what we try and do is help people have a book and a box, right? So book meaning the Essential Life, which how many of you guys have the Essential Life app?
Does that mimic the book?
What's that?
Does that mimic the book pretty much?
Yep, it's amazing. So
Do you have to have an account for it? Or
No.
can you-
It's an
You just
app,
have
it's
to-
$5
It's an
a year.
Apple app, and it looks like this right here.
There's more chairs somewhere.
Hey guys, chair right here. Ross, you can sit on the stool. We'd like you up high. We'll call you the Scottish. Guys, this is it right here.
You want to say that?
What can you just quietly? Guys, we're having a working dinner, right? So this is just relaxed. We're getting it done. These are our good friends, Christina and Ross, coming all the way from Scotland and Salt Lake City.
Wow.
That's not
Okay.
So Essential Life app looks like this. Like so. So I just clicked on that.
And then you cancel it. And then go to the-
So that app I use several times a day to be a solutions provider. And I just switched my phone so this doesn't have
Which
internet.
one of those? Essential.
Essential Life.
only Apple? Or is it-
Ah, is it
It's
Apple?
only Apple.
Oh, what
It's
is
coming
it?
in Android in November.
What's in it? What? Yeah.
Yeah. Greenleaf. Greenleaf, baby.
Which is really nice to have because you don't always have your book with you. You can
Yeah.
grab that app.
Anytime.
Tara.
Now, when people text me, I
It's-
screenshot
It goes
and
with the
send it.
book that they created,
Yes.
the big thick green
And then
book.
I'm not the one
That's
also
the
like
same thing.
Facebook
And an app.
Yeah.
It's a super easy way to share, and then they can be inspired to go and get it and read more, you know. And then yeah, you're not having to type in a whole bunch, right? So
Oh, yeah,
just
yeah.
screenshot it on your
Does it work international?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I have a question. Those applications, can you use it like in other countries, like South America?
Yeah. So the things that you'll want to do is like, this is in English right now. It's coming in some other languages, but you're going to want to make sure, like you would have to translate that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is the condition in English or whatever.
Translating.
And the other app I use a lot, how many people's issues do you think start out with emotions? 80%, 70%, like, so many issues start out with emotions. I use this Essential Emotions app right here.
Essential Emotions.
Mm-hmm. And I screenshot this several times a day as well, right? So you can look up an emotion that somebody's feeling. My 12-year-old girl, it seems like we're on here several times a day, just for her, right? Or like if you're drawn to a certain oil, you could read about that oil and then.
The
Yeah.
first one.
Does this match up with the book that you have?
Yep.
It's amazing.
Same thing. Or body. Hey, we keep having this digestive issue. Let's look deeper to the emotional root. Okay.
Is it like $14.99 or is that
$14.99 one time, forever. So then you're using these solutions in your home and you're modeling that, and other people start to experience more and more of that too. Okay. So just remember that solutions provider mentality all of the time, guys. If you remember that one thing, we had a friend that was diving into doTERRA, and they had some goals and they wanted to hit those goals. And so they were just focused on that, and they were focused on closing. Hey, well, which kit do you want? Which kit do you want? Which kit do you want? They were focusing on the wrong thing. And how well do you think that all lined up for them? No. But when you focus on, wow, okay, so what are your health concerns? And let's look up here and see how we can best address them. And then let's make a plan, you know, your wellness plan right here in the Live Guide. And then she knows what she's gonna do. She's got that going, and we can move forward.
One other personal recommendation is if you have them buy the biggest kit ever, then what are they going to put on their LRP? So if you see them ordering, like my philosophy, if you see them ordering a lot the first time, be like, you know, especially like with LLB, it's like, well, let's get this now,
and you know you also your commissions, let's go ahead and set this up for next month. That way you can split up your purchases, not have the stress. Because once they're on LRP, the chances of them staying are much greater. And you don't want to have to sell the $3,000 kit all the time, because then what's next? That's a one-time client. There's no education. There's no rolling. So, I mean, sell them what they need and then help them phase it out, because if you get them on the monthly usage, that's a better sustainable long-term customer, in my opinion.
Totally agree. And we've seen that over and over again, that when we do a class, you'll see that this is the really high ticket, right, up here. But a lot of times, because we have these other items, people will go for the natural solutions class, and then they can keep up an LRP. They've got enough exposure to product and da-da-da. If that's too much for them, then we come down to the home essentials kit and da-da-da. So we're gonna go through a couple closes even as well. So really quick, you're gonna invite other people to become a solutions provider and show them how to get the oils in their home. That's one of the ways that you connect people to those solutions, okay? So the next thing we're gonna do is set up our schedule. But just remember, in this process, if you're authentic and you're naturally sharing the experiences that you have, things are gonna work out. You know, if you focus on solving other people's problems, guess what? It's going to solve all of your business problems. It's going to solve your financial problems. You help enough people get what they want, you're going to get what you want. But if you try and switch that around, you're just going to get your way hedged up, right? That's just the way it works. And, you know, it's, go ahead.
You're great. I was going to give an illustration of that.
Yes,
I got a text on the way here. I had a neighbor, and she texted me and she said, homecoming is on Saturday. My daughter just pinched this big old zit and she's got a scab on her forehead and she's mortified. She's like, what do you have? And I was like, Yarrow Pom. So I even left and had my teenager put it together and run it across and gave it to her. And this is the text that I got from her on the way here. It's a quote, okay? By the way, the Yarrow Pom you gave Natalie was a freaking miracle worker. On Sunday, she had a massive scab on the center of her forehead, and on Thursday, it was gone. Please, please invite me to these trainings. I want to learn. So just that little scab on a 16-year-old's head, what you said is by giving a solution, now she wants to come to classes. Now she wants to know more. She said to me the other day, I want to be a healer. I'm all, what? So I mean,
where's this even coming from?
No. So it's exactly the process. It is, yeah.
So you do it that way, it's easy, right? Have you ever heard of Hard Easy, right? Mm-hmm. If you start out just finding those solutions, and guess what? Heather, did you have a big sale that day that you shared the Yarrow Pom with her? No, right? But guess how big that sale is going to be long term, right? She's going to be a builder or a leader or da-da-da, and who knows how that will trickle down, right? Yeah. So we take the time to do it right. We plant all those seeds. These are planting seeds, right? That dropping off that Yarrow Pom, getting this to that person, telling this person, sharing the screenshot. All of those are planting seeds. And we know that the harvest is coming, and the harvest can't be prevented, but you got to plant a lot of seeds to get an awesome harvest. So just get in the mode of doing that. So what we're really focusing in on, sorry, that isn't as clear, is inviting, okay? If you just learn how to share and invite, that's the most important thing for you to learn right now. And then teaching will come naturally from that, and you'll have people to teach because you've done that. And then you're gonna make sure you follow up so that those seeds get watered and taken care of, right? And then you're gonna help and support other builders just like you, just like we're doing right here, okay? So, success is scheduled. Success doesn't just happen. Anybody had that happen to them?
Oh,
there you go. Yeah.
But it's great to hear these examples, but I think sometimes you're like, well, what do I say or how do I follow up? In the Empowered Success Training, there's some really great videos with fantastic verbiage on what to say and how to set it up in the very best way. So be sure and watch those and work on that verbiage so you feel confident and comfortable when you have the opportunity to share. You know how to do it in the best way.
It's so powerful. And they are here. I use, I turn back right here in the share guide, and we're gonna practice with some of this. I'm having so much fun, you guys. It's hard to go faster. But you'll see the scripts, they're in blue writing, and you can be watching that while you're right there on the phone, right? It's super easy to go through that process. So success is scheduled. We're gonna get this done and eat some dinner. So in your launch month, on average, you're going for 15 enrollments because 200 PB is about the average enrollment, right? Some people are gonna buy a natural solutions kit and it'll be more. Some people will buy less. And, but if we're going for 15 enrollments, we're gonna hit that 3,000 OV, right?
So this is builders and customers. It's just,
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? So, and we're gonna look at a little funnel that will show you a little bit more about that, but we've got to schedule a success, right? We're just planting those seeds. We can't judge the day by the harvest. We just need to be planting, right? So look, she's got a one-on-one right here scheduled. She's got an oil class here and here. She's got a mini class at the juice bar. She's got another one-on-one and two other one-on-ones, right? So if she does good preparation for these classes, do you think she could get 15 enrollments from just that success? So this is printed right there so you can kind of see, oh, this is a sample, right? Go ahead.
How many people would you want at a class to be able to hit that 15?
Great question. And actually the ideal number, we did a lot of scientific research on this, so I want to make sure I get it right. Honestly, it's like 6 to 10 in a class, 6 to 12. Sometimes you can handle 15 if you have a couple people to take care of them. But usually we want one wellness advocate for at least every 8 people, okay? So that you can help close them and da-da-da. So let's think about this process a little bit more so you can see it's not just this random crazy thing. We've got 100 people here, right? Maybe you made a list of 100 people. Maybe you just have your build guide that you've made this list of your top 30, right? We can start there, right? And these other people that say, hey, I've got a problem will come up and they can be your extra 15, right? Because you're gonna share a sample, you're gonna share a story, you're gonna share a solution with 45 people. And if you do that, you're going to be able to present to 30 of those people, okay? Some of those people won't be ready to come to a class this month. They'll be like, oh yeah, that's not really on my radar right now. But then, how about November, right? Some of those 45, maybe those 15 will be ready to come in November. And then out of those 30 that you present to, you're going to enroll 15, and out of those 15, the statistics are that 3 of those would be builders or want to be builders, right? And so then you're going to help those. Does that make sense? Can you see the process? Any questions there? So these are the things you're really going to focus on doing day in and day out in your launch month, right? So you've talked, like I've got to put in a certain amount of time every week, and I want you to think right now and decide when you're going to put that time in, right? Is it going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday from blah, blah, blah? Schedule that. Put it in your phone, write it down, figure out the time when you can invest, because if you don't dedicate that time, what's going to happen? Nothing. It's miraculous. But something else is going to come in, right? If you don't decide your priorities, somebody else will. Your kids are going to have this issue. The neighbor's going to need this, and you'll get more whatever in your life. But if you schedule your success, if you set this time apart and you take what's needed to invest and plant those seeds, you're going to change your reality and so many other people's. And then you're literally just, every time you go to do your doTERRA sharing, to build your business, to launch your business, you can just come right here to this little list and say, okay, what is it I need to focus on today? Right here. Okay? And you'll know what all of these things mean in a minute. Let's grab some food and then we'll dive into this next section. So we have these all organized and maybe we should pray before anybody gets up.
I'll say a blessing. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for this food and for this time together. We pray for a blessing of health and of nourishment, and that we can all return home safely when we're done. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
I'm not sure what the order is, but have you guys heard of Spitz?
No.
It's kind of
We use the same company for the dinner at our house. It's Mediterranean, amazing. Mediterranean street food. Thank you. So there's a few different piles. There's a vegetarian one here on this end with the carrot sticks.
the meat is lamb.
And there's
some
some
big pieces and small pieces it's chicken.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, we're gonna take. Remember bathrooms down this hall, right down there, and then you've got to come back around the way you came in. So grab something to eat. Grab a quick drink.
Breadsticks.
Great. There's water for everybody too. We're gonna take 5 and then jump back in.
Yeah, I know this stuff. I'm just like, we builders types always like, no.
It was like also, if you're sincere or serious about holiday gifts of some sort, now it's just like a little bit more time on his leeway. Yeah, or like what's your small year? I just didn't know how many. It's fun to reach out. Okay. Okay, when I know the number, then I kind of know. Yeah, and I'm really not that out. So if I actually know the person put in there, what it's like, I know the person. And I don't like, so like I know not that it's actually cool, but I don't agree from their sales and going around. I'm just
Chicken eggs with you guys the other night.
And all my candy bag.
Oh my gosh.
Your little oil bag, travel bag.
Don't look at how close. Too close. How loved it is.
Came her last night, and right away. Well, I love that just on me.
I love digestion a ton, but sometimes if I take it at night, it's too strong and wakes me up. I have to dilute it so much because that fennel stuff. And Ross puts digestion on every night, and I'm like, Ross, I can't sleep. I'm gonna that was back in May. It's flower is
You do. Oh,
I just don't speak. No, I don't speak the same.
The red is some vegetarian there. No, I know you want if you have leadership, you're that works. Or that's how I would make it. You have classes, I can schedule. Well, this is Wednesday. So then why were you confused about that? I have a couple people that
want to be
right?
I know, right?
Yeah. I actually, what I do is I have my it's like, oh, they don't have any. You know, and a lot of fun.
Cool. Thank you for putting this together.
You're so welcome.
I don't know who you are, but I just saw an email that came to my email.
Probably subscribe to our channel, and then when we put up new events, then you can know that.
You know, so much.
Yeah, like I was saying, like, granted, there's a lot like never whatever. Like I'm just saying, like so many anyone I know that's actually
How do you do that? How do you do that? Like you have a website? I like I'm serious. I want to actually.
But literally, how do you tell people like that? So you can say that we can
and I say, hey, this is my study letter, this is how I do You're doing good. My mother is one
Ya. Está bien, lo que tú hacer intentar trabajar y porque la noche se puede empezar, entonces por eso tengo que ser bien, toda la noche pensando cómo y la manera de grabar y ver. Después estuve traduciendo y ya, entonces ya, perfecto, entonces vamos a hacer eso y ya, gracias por avisarme y bueno, estoy aprendiendo un poco más para poder compartirlo con ustedes.
Yeah, I
Estoy con Rob y Cristina y con alguien que está con ellos. Bueno, realmente con esa persona y a través de él los conocí a ellos. Estoy nuevito, entonces estoy aprendiendo.
Hay mucho potencial en el mercado hispano.
Sí. Eso, quiero aprovechar esa circunstancia, ¿no? Que está recién abierto el mercado de Colombia y hay novedad. Entonces, ¿y en Perú está abierto ya?
Todavía no, yo trabajo en Perú. Es difícil llevar todo, pero lo hago.
¿Y cómo lo llevas?
Privado.
¿Privado? ¿Viajas hasta Perú? Sí. Eso leí que estaban haciendo en Colombia. Lo estaban mandando desde Miami. Ya me contaron, yo no sé si había gente que venía.
Manda a Colombia Está bueno.
Escuché que trabajabas en marketing, algo así, o trabajas todavía.
Ese es mi trabajo, trabajo en radio, televisión, documento, agencia. Hago todo esto, publicidad en inglés, en español.
Okay, guys.
I like it. I like that's fair.
Okay. Find your seat. Yeah, get some more dressing, whatever you need. And we're gonna let you just keep getting up. We're just gonna stay working dinner, right? Keep taking this in. So we tried to cut this down by an hour tonight and do it on a school night and be able to get it in. But I can tell you already that we are like, so I'm going to try and speed up a little bit. If you are feeling like you need more clarity, I need you to raise your hand, because the most important thing is that we leave tonight understanding. Okay, so even if we only get 60% of the way, you know, we want full understanding and full confidence in you, okay? But I'm going to try and just move it up a little bit, okay? So raise your hand, give me feedback if you need it slower, because our intention is that you understand and know and can move forward powerfully. So we just did success is scheduled. On the page just after that, this is called a success tracker. And this is my favorite friend because it really helped me in the beginning of doTERRA. And of course, you can create a Google Doc or whatever you want to do like this if you're wanting something else. But this success tracker, you can see how it works right here. So basically, it's showing you, hey, your goal was to invite 45 right here. I'm sharing and inviting. Present to 30, enroll 15. Then after you enroll them, you're going to give them a lifestyle overview, which is with the Live Guide, the purple guide, right? And then the 3 or more that want to build, we're going to get out the Build Guide and do a business overview. And then the last checkbox is hosting overview. with launch. So it's basically somebody, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to help them know how to host a class, and we're going to help them launch their business. So a lot of times people won't have an opportunity to go to a launch class like this, a launch camp, where they're just getting everything, but they have the launch guide. They can be self-sustaining. They could do this, and you could walk them through the key essentials that they needed to know. Then they could watch the videos that are on doTERRA's launch page, right? And then you can fill in any gaps together, right? So what I love about this page is that, you know, if I help these people progress in this way, again, where are we getting? We're getting where we want to go. But it starts out with these really basic things. The people that I've seen get tripped up in doTERRA are people that want to see people go silver tomorrow, and they want to be diamond the end of next week, okay? So don't be tripped up by that, okay? doTERRA has so much power to give you freedom and bring you success. So focus on these little basic things. Those things will take you where you want to go. Don't be fooled thinking, oh, it's got to be something else. It's got to be big magical. It's got to be an amazing builder in an international country. No, it can be right next door. Okay. So does that make sense how you use the success tracker? And there's, like, I just keep printing out those pages. You can print these out on the Empowered Success page. At the bottom, there's one that says Tools Library, and it has downloads of all these really useful handouts, and you can just print it out whenever you want, okay? So, there we go. Okay, so how many of you have a list to work from? How many of you brought your list all worked out? Okay, so we're gonna take that list and just refine it down a little bit. So you have your top 25, 30 names. What do you guys have? And this is gonna help a lot of you know how to do it, right? I am always adding to my names list. There's new people that came to my mind at convention, and I've been in doTERRA 11 years, right? So you just keep that list going all the time. That's something that never goes away. But I want you, if you haven't written people down on this list right here, you can write it down right here. You can start there. You can also start right here. I just like starting here because then I'm going to take my best and refine them down to right here. And there is one way that I use to refine down and help, you know, anybody can be a great prospect, right? Anybody who values health, purpose, or freedom. And so they can be part of this list. And at the very end, we're going to go over who your top business builder prospects will be. But anybody can be part of this list. Actually, I think we're going to let you refine because I don't think we have time for that. D, I can't get it to go. Somehow I'm out of my elements. How do you like your dinner, guys?
So good. So we're just gonna take what we think are our strongest and start plugging them in right here.
So, Jenica's got her 33 names right here. And these were like the first names that came to her mind. Some of these people we've already reached out to. And some people, like, it seems like right away they'll either be open and ready, and I'm ready to take them through a process, or they won't be open and ready. And that's a lot of the refining that you would do right now, is where do I need to focus, you know? open and ready. Who do I feel most drawn to? The other way you're going to filter these names is by looking at the builder list, because when you start your business, what do you need? You need builders, right? You can enroll. Let's say you started your business on October 1st. You start your business today. You could enroll all these people for the next 14 days, and then you could arrange them, right? Because you have 14 days that you can move someone. But if you do that intentionally, and you already know, and you've already gone to those builders and you've invited them to build with you and partner with you, and you're doing this intentionally with them, and they're doing the same process, how much more powerful is that going to be, right? I'm going to tell you, like most of my builders, we went to them, we took them out to dinner, we said, hey, this is what we're doing. If we could do this with anybody, we would do it with you. Do you want to do this with us? That's what it sounded like. We didn't have a build guide. We didn't have any cool videos. We had nothing. You have so much.
I was just going to ask, one of the videos that I watched said to almost always you want to enroll them as a customer, and then later upgrade them to a wellness advocate, because it's when that upgrade happens that the 14 days start. How would you differentiate when you want to enroll as a wellness advocate and you want to enroll as a customer?
So if you know that someone wants to build and you know where you want to place them, then you can just enroll them straight as a wellness advocate. If someone, you've just shared the oils with them, you haven't had a business conversation, a partnering conversation or anything, you can always enroll them as a customer. So the trick is with what they taught you right there is you literally have 90 days from the day they sign up. So this is their enrollment, right? To when they can upgrade and you can move them someplace else.
Okay.
So let's say they use the oils for 2 days and then they call you and say, Jensen, I love these oils. I want to do this. I'm ready to get on a plane. And you're like, oh, shoot. I placed you underneath Susie and I didn't know, you know? Then you're like, hey, can you just sit tight there for 88 more days? And then I'm going to move you up front line and we're going to go change the world together, right?
Yeah.
So that strategy works if this caveat, if this whole deal works for you. Then you've got, if they just want to stay right where they're at and that's a good positioning for them, you can upgrade them anytime. You guys following me? You can upgrade them anytime from, this is a wellness wholesale customer right here, WC, to a wellness advocate. And that's someone that can purchase, that can share, enroll people, make money. Okay?
And that's after the 90 days that you can do that if you enroll them as a customer first.
You can upgrade them, but they're going to stay right where they are.
I understood that the customers within 14 could still be moved, but between 14 and 90, miss something.
If you move them right here, then you don't ever get the chance to move them again.
Yeah, but they could be moved in the first 14, but then they're there permanently.
Yeah.
Because you converted them to a wellness advocate.
That, you know what? That is recent change. So that has changed, and I need to clarify that. So you could say he tells you in 2 days, you could do that. After the 14, no movement. And then if you move them at all, you can't do this. You can only move them once.
That's right.
Okay? And you can make all moves from your back office. Andy Goddard, do you want to show us where that placement screen is? Because this is where you ask for, this is where you can move people. It's where you can ask for an exception if there was an error. It gives you lots of options. So this is all under placements. But the most important thing right now is that you figure out who these partners are. Maybe you're choosing 3 partners and then you add on a 4th later on. But you're looking for 3 key partners that you can run together and create together.
So will you say that one more time
Mhm.
with what the
Yeah. Randall, are you sure that that's right?
So the way I understood it was, if you sign up a wholesale customer, within 14 days, they can still be moved, because everybody can be moved within 14 days, wellness advocates and customers. But like you said, if you move a customer within 14, you may not get a remove if they decide after 90 days that they want to engage.
Everybody gets one. Everybody gets one move.
one move? But that counts as their move if it's outside of 14, or even inside of 14 counts.
One move
only.
Only inside of 14 can you move them, or you can wait till after the 90.
To upgrade them, then move and move at the same time.
So let's say you have the neighbor. Let's do a different example. The guy that has, the lady that has a whooping cough issue that you talked to at the dermatologist office. And she just wants some oils for her life. You can totally sign her up as a wholesale customer. That gives you the most options. And I would place her right where she's gonna grow the best. Oh, she is in Layton, and this is my main partner that's in Layton, and so I'm gonna place this wholesale customer right here, or maybe even better, she knows who her main partners are. So we're gonna even place her under there, right? Because that way you get your customers on your 3rd and 4th levels, right? Even better. Okay, so this is your customers you want down here. You want your builders closer to you. And this might be sharers or builders. And this is all on the last page of the launch guide.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
If you've got some people that already want to be customers, because you don't have that structure in place yet.
That's why you go out to dinner with these people before you know very many people. Because then you just have 14 days, and if whatever move you make, that's your move. So that's why it's so important to get these, right? Number 1 is your own commitment and vision. Number 2 is gathering these partners to do it with you and be clear with them, right? How does it feel when you talk to Leah and you're like, hey, we're partnering, we do this together, right?
She has no choice, she's my sister. Like, we're gonna do this together.
Show us the placements.
So you click on Team in your back office, and then you come down to sponsor changes, and then anybody you've enrolled in the last 14 days will show up right here, and you can just click on their name and then put in the new sponsor.
So we have.
So while we're on this, sponsor is the person that they're under in the tree, right? So this gal, her sponsor would be, this is her sponsor. But you enrolled her, so you are her enroller. You share the oils with her, and you are her enroller.
The sponsor is the person that I go under.
Yep. Everybody look at me and say, I get that. Got it?
Can you just like explain why that matters?
So there's several bonuses in doTERRA. And so for example, our free bonus is a sponsor bonus. And it gets paid by this structure, right? Like the tree, how it's lined up, right? So you want to have people in the right place so this bonus is getting paid out. What other bonus is a sponsor bonus?
So the power free can be multiple power frees. You get the bonus from that, put that under you.
Yep. well, like for example, right here, if she's on this level, she's on my 3rd level, I get these people going, and then I'm earning my $50 power free.
Right.
I get these people going, and now I'm getting my 250 power free, right?
Right.
And we get this 100 points, so I'm meeting all the qualifications of that. But then I get this 3rd line all filled in, right? So each of these have free going, right? And then what am I making? A teacher's income, $1,500 a month, right? By just that one bonus. So this is all working together for your good, right? That's why you want to be able to work and partner with builders, but you want customers to bring in that strength. They're going to play a part in your power of 3. You're going to get paid unilevel on them. Okay. The enroller bonuses are fast start. And that's like your commissions, right? In sales, they think about it as your commissions, right? I enroll somebody with a 400 PV kit. What fast start commission am I getting? $80. 400 times 20%, right? So I'm getting that $80 the next week, right? And then that person shares with somebody else, and I'm getting $40, right? And that person shares with someone, and I'm getting 20, right? So each of the fast start pays out on all those levels.
And that $80 comes from 400 PV.
Yep. Always get paid commissions on PV. Great question. So enroller is fast start and any of your rank or leadership. So, for example, when you place these people here, who's going to be the sponsor? So let's say this is Jenica. So the sponsor is going to be Jenica, but who's the enroller going to be? Jenica. So these people, enroller and sponsor, Jenica. How about this person? Let's say Jenica enrolled this person. She shared the oils with her and everything.
She's the enroller.
Jenica's going to be the enroller again, but who's going to be the sponsor this time?
The other one.
This is going to be the sponsor. Isn't this a fun game? If you understand this little game, it will help you to help more people and just be successful.
So it's those that you enroll that qualify you for rank.
Absolutely. And how many of those can you have on each given leg? So this is Jenica, this is her 3 leaders, this is who she's going to sign up in a little bit, right? How many people, this leg right here, she can choose one of the people that she enrolled going to help her advance. This leg, same thing.
So if anyone on that leg qualifies as an elite, that gives her
As long as you're
silver.
As long as you're
Yeah. Right.
Doesn't matter how deep.
Nope. Could be way down here.
So it's just as long as it's on the different legs.
Yep.
It doesn't matter where. On
So
the
you
leg.
could have one qualifier here, you could have one qualifier here, and you could have one qualifier there. But just so you know, if you have this person and this person, they both can't qualify. You can't be like, oh, I went diamond, this person's silver, that person's silver, and this person. Because you can only use one from this way.
But not only that, that bottom person can't count as a for the person up above as far as
Right.
Unless you gave me
Unless you transfer.
unless you
it over.
transfer it. You can
do
once
that.
you give it up, you give it up.
Yep, you can do that once in a life. You can actually, there's one swap. You can transfer the enroller once and then you can send it back once. So let's walk through that scenario, okay? So Jenica's right here. She enrolled this gal, but now her mainline builder, Judy, is ready to go silver, and that's going to help Jenica go platinum. And Judy's growing really strong, and Susie right here, you know, is growing great. But Judy's a stronger leader, and that's great. Then Jenica is going to send an email to placements@doterra.com, and she's going to say, hey, I want to transfer the enroller of Susie to Judy. And when that's right, when Judy's ready to go that rank, then you can do that. But until then, you keep the enroller on everyone you enroll, because you don't know. You know, you could be going presidential and make $3,000 on Susie 1 month when Susie goes silver, and then you could transfer this to Judy the next month, and you would have received all of the bonuses that you would need. And now it's serving your big long-term win. Some of those things you're going to learn a little bit more later as you get more experience, but you can transfer that later, so you don't have to worry about that. But just in the long-term scheme of things, you've got to know, okay, I'm placing people right here for 2 reasons, since we're all going here: synergy and location. So you place people where they're going to grow the best, right? If you're about planting seeds and helping people grow, you're going to plant them wherever they're going to grow best. And that's when we'll get what we want.
Hey, Natalie, can I make a quick comment on that?
Yep.
So in the early days of some of the schools that we were enrolling, I didn't realize this was happening, is people were giving the enrollership to a friend because they wanted them to make a fast start bonus, not thinking about rank long term, and they didn't even know about it, and I didn't even know about it. And so I kind of let them know, keep the enrollership always. If you want somebody to kind of bless somebody with a 20% bonus, just pay them that cash or work out some deal. I'm just saying that here because I know there's a lot of people just getting fired up and cranked, but sometimes we do have a good heart that leads us to shortchange ourselves 6 months to a year down the road. And so if you found them through your contact, just always keep the enroller and you bless the person with a coil or something. You never give the enrollership to somebody who doesn't understand it or deserve it or really realize, but that's burned us a few times, but no more. So we had to do a lot of teaching on keeping that enrollership.
Great thing to learn, because then what is that? That just motivates people to enroll other people, right?
So in this case that you showed us, in the case that you would transfer enrollership, because if your mentality is like, unless I'm really convinced, I keep all my enrollership.
Unless
you would do that if you saw Judy's going, she's serious about it.
Wait until it's time for Judy to go premier or silver, or it's needed for rank advancement.
Okay. Because if you're ready to go platinum, but Judy still needs to hit silver, and the only thing she needs to hit silver is one more elite, who's Susie. But you have the enrollership, and Susie's elite, then that would be the good time to transfer.
Right. Sometimes I watch people transfer too early, and you can totally, you know, every situation, we're dealing with people, so the answer is it depends, you know. But the rule of thumb is just wait until it's needed for rank advancement, and then transfer it.
Can you petition for more transfers?
You can do that. You can swap it once, like, so Jenica's gonna swap Susie's enrollership to Judy. She does that once, and then Judy's husband dies, and she completely falls out and blah, blah, blah. So Jenica could go to Judy and say, hey, Judy, you know, you haven't been taking care of your business, but Susie is really progressing. I really need this for my livelihood. Could you transfer that enrollership back? And then Judy could send an email transferring it back, and that's all within the normal realm of what's happening. After that, if something happened again, then you'd be asking for an exception. And sometimes they say yes, and sometimes they say no.
Who makes that call?
The exceptions committee.
It's like a legal team of squad
You can
people.
swap it. You can send it once and then twice. For everyone.
What did you say? What did you say?
I said their identities are never revealed.
They get too many donuts and nobody would ever progress, right? Okay, so now we're gonna drop into inviting, right? The super, and we're gonna do some practices, okay? So open up to 8 and 9. And, yep. And we're just gonna practice for a minute. You guys are so good. So many of you are so good, right? You know how to connect with people that you already know. And this is giving you some tips of connecting with someone new. One of my favorite things is talking to somebody brand new about the oils. Like, so I'll be sitting on an airplane or in line at a grocery store, or I'm at a park, right? And how do we get talking about the oils? A lot of you know how to talk about cloths, right? And get there and the issues that come with that. But if we get clear on the pain, we can help get there really fast. So one of the approaches that I use a lot is, hey, I'll start talking about an experience that I had, right? Because are people going to disclose their health issues to you?
No.
Like, hi, what are your health issues? That just doesn't work very well, right? But sometimes I'll take something super simple. We'll be sitting down on a bench while our kids are playing on the playground. I'll just be like, oh my goodness, I'm so happy that he is feeling energized today, because just the other day, he had so much stomach pain going because he was having all these digestive issues, you know. But I was able to just take Tamer and this essential oil. We just rolled it on and it totally worked. What do you know about essential oils? You know, and if I really am feeling something authentically about that, it'll work, right? So stick with the authentic sharing. You can even start with something as simple as, my head's not in this game. My head's in like missionary prep game right now. But it can be as simple as just the littlest things, right?
Sometimes what I find is if you're vulnerable and you share something about you, they immediately have grounds and permission to open up about them. So like, oh, I always struggle with headaches or, you know, whatever. And then it's really common.
It just goes back and forth once you've been vulnerable. So you start out with the authenticity and the vulnerability, and it will just follow, right? But people aren't going to tell you about their hemorrhoids till you tell them about something that already went down with them, with you, right? So you've got to be using the oils, and I like to say that you have this whole back pocket full of those experiences, right? So if you need to write them down on 3x5 cards for a little while, you write them down on 3x5 cards, because you want to customize your, you know, I'm not going to share the Alzheimer's experience, you know, how I helped the lady with Alzheimer's with this mom of a young kid, you know. I'm going to pull out my mom experiences to share, right? So you're going to start just getting your little back pocket full of these experiences so you can pull them out whenever. So let's practice just connecting those people to your solution. So we're imagining that you've already authentically and sincerely connected to someone, and now we're just going to practice connecting those people to your solution. So turn to a partner. Everybody grab a partner and first try it. You can read through this one on someone you already know. But I want you to try someone you already know and how you might do that. This is just a little idea, right, on how you might connect with them. Because that's where we're going to start out with a lot of that, someone you already know. And we're going to have you share, and then we'll swap, okay? So we'll just tell you when to swap. And then you're going to practice that with someone new. So just that little variation on it. So Andy Goddard, do you want to do an example with me? So these people don't get freaked out. You guys are so advanced. You don't even need this stuff. But You know how it seems like so many people are into natural wellness these days. Like, what are your thoughts? I've been really enamored with essential oils lately, and I'm experiencing a lot of really good things. What's been your experience?
I think I had some essential oils in a massage once. They seem great. A lot of people seem to be talking about them.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So would you be willing to try some essential oils for some of the issues that are up for you and your family?
Sure.
Awesome. I know I love them in a massage, but I know there's so much more there. So let's go, what are some of the things that you guys are dealing with right now? So it can be super, super short. It can be super simple. And you'll be surprised at how quickly people open up, right? Mm-hmm. You will know about hemorrhoids before you want to know about hemorrhoids. But if you're sharing from your heart and you're being authentic and you're there to serve, okay?
I've got one for this time of year.
Yeah.
Everybody's coming into
Heather, give us your sample.
Yeah. Everybody's coming into, people have already been getting sick, since like August, September. It seems like it's coming in on early. And people are wanting to have solutions to avoid, prevent, whatever. So I'm always asking people generally because I care and it relates is like, gosh, if you guys stayed healthy, how's your family? Are you guys, have you been able to stay healthy? Oh man, have you been sick or whatever, right? Or just asking like, what are you doing? Do you have any like tips and tricks of what you're doing to keep your family healthy with all the crazy sickness that's around? You open up and you're asking, and it might be something awesome like, sweet, I need some of that goat milk too, or whatever that they suggest.
I'll be sick.
But then they're gonna usually ask you back, what about you? Mm-hmm. Same thing as like, hey, so do you work? Yeah, what about you? Well, yes, I do. You know what I mean? So glad you asked. Yeah, but that's just the topic of right now, right? We're coming into sick season, so that can be your go-to for like months. So
seriously, right? All the way through February.
Yeah,
you got a good.
Yeah. So just to piggyback on that, I took my kids to their pediatrician, and the lady who was, and we had to catch up on some immunizations. And so she's like, "Are you doing a flu shot today?" And I said, "No, I never do flu shots." She goes, "You never do flu shot?" And I go, "No, I just use essential oils." And she's like, "Really? It helps with the flu?" But I didn't go in there thinking, I'm going to talk to her about essential oils. But at the same time, I was like, well, I'm just going to share what I do. And she was great. She's like, I didn't even know. This is a new office. We're new to Utah. So I don't know any background on any of these people. But she's like, oh, that'd be so good for me because I'm pregnant. And she didn't know. She was like early pregnant. She goes, and I'm nervous about getting the flu shot. And I said, oh, I'd be happy to talk to you about like what oils would support that. So anyway, she's one of my people on my list. That I can talk to her. But it wasn't like, I'm going to have a conversation about oils. It was like, hey, we're already talking about this. And I could have just said, oh, no, we don't do that. But I was like, I'll tell people why we don't do that because we do oils. We do that every year. We don't get sick with the flu.
So can you see that certainty, her actually sharing that next sentence instead of stopping right there came from her clarity. And she knows who she is and she's living it, right? This is not something unnatural that you're like, I do doTERRA. I'm here to sell you a kit. It's nothing like that. It's natural. That next sentence came out naturally because that's who she is. And people feel that, they resonate with it. And
which is why it's so important to have the oils, try the oils, use the oils, have your story, because then it really is the truth, right?
You guys might have right now, like I just have I had before, now I have my spinner at my house and right? But this is the way I started out. I just had a little pouch and I took it with me everywhere I went. And I take this with my purse with me everywhere I go. Like you've got oils all the time. So I don't always have a sample ready, but you could have samples already ready, right? But I love it because I always have an oil right here and I'm just going to give somebody an oil experience right there. Hey, have you ever tried grapefruit? It's one of my very favorites, and I just get it out and start putting it on. Wow, it's so awesome. Oh, hey, have you ever tried grapefruit? You know,
Can you do this?
it's. Oh, but I'd be like, oh,
I just
experienced that
right now.
And I just showed him how to use it, and he's gonna put it on him, right? And you know, we're just gonna flow from there. So just be authentic with that connecting, sharing, and inviting. Yeah.
We just came back from a weekend in Wyoming with some friends, and I had the oil kind of like bag,
Yeah.
and I didn't have my deep blue in it, and one of the guys there was like, my back is hurting so bad, and I ran up to my oil back, and I was like, dang, I don't have it.
You best be sending them a sample and
I
I
know.
know. Like, I don't have it for you. I've got to get it to you because you have to try it.
Oh, that's right.
A little bit.
Good call. That's how we just burn your eyeballs.
Yeah, or just for a flat envelope, you could do the deep blue little tear pouch for like
The deep blue rub and a sample pack. So we have so many good samples now. Deep blue rub, under toothpaste, like the little shampoo packets, right?
Shampoo. He's the walking advertisement.
Have you guys had good experiences with the little samples that you've shared so far?
Do you get those some?
You buy them from doTERRA.
I use I'm gonna.
These guys came over and made some packs of samples, so we can get some packs for you and kind of see how to put it together.
Oh, yes.
That would be great. Okay, turn to your partner. Everybody try this connecting. Let's try this season or whatever you want to do. So you got 2 minutes.
Can I ask you first?
Yeah, I just met you. Yeah, where are we? The elevator.
Hey, an elevator, sure. Someone else just like, I'm like, oh, hold on. Hey.
Okay, switch. Okay, come back to me. Finish up. How did that work? Did it feel good just to get it going and flowing? Yeah. You're natural, right? Anybody need Melissa on the ears? It's one of my favorite first drink. I'm getting so powerful just to get it going. One of my favorite things is to do a booth with a brand new person because we'll just be sharing, right? Just sharing, one person after another, and it just gets you in that mode of, oh, I can talk to anybody about their health and about their issues. In fact, I keep looking at you. I'm thinking of my brother right now. So my brother is about, is he 55? Maybe between 55 and 60. And he's transitioning to doTERRA full time, right? Wow. And it's been so powerful for him because he just keeps having these feelings in his life. Like he had his best friend die from cancer, and he just knew that he could do more. And so he has earned a living his whole life doing dairy nutrition consulting. And he, instead of taking care of cows now, he goes and he gives, he shares what people can use with specific oils. He uses this guide, right? And he helps them know how to solve their problems, and he'll go over those problems with them. And then he'll leave them with samples or help them use the oils right there. He went to my cousins that just got diagnosed with cancer, and they hadn't been very open to the oils. But it's amazing what happens when you get diagnosed with something, right? You become very teachable very fast. And he went and he gave them a symphony of cells last week, which is just putting certain oils down the back, right? So he went and helped them in that way, right? And so powerful. And he's just so happy, right? So these little introductory connections that you're making, right? Can you see how they're different every time? But they're so powerful, and they can be the way in. So I want you to remember to use the Healthy Can Be Simple is just a good support that sometimes if I just have 30 seconds or 1 minute, I'm like, I've got one of these ready with my details right here. I'm like, hey, I've got a powerful detail. I've got a powerful video on what your son is dealing with. I'd love to share that with you. Can I grab your number and I'll just text you over that video? And I'll get their details first, and then I'll give them something with my information on it. Why?
Because then they'll say, oh, I'll just call you. I got your number. I'll just call you. And it never happens.
No, it's so smart. It's like you've been talking to people for 2 years.
I don't even ask for the number anymore. I just say, Kate, do you have a 718 number? And I just
It's even better. Look at him.
Change the last 2 digits on purpose and say, is that right? And if they say, oh yeah, that's right.
Serious skills. He's diamond material already. It's amazing. This is literally just a mini class. You can teach it on the bench. You can use your phone trick, ninja skills to filter, But you could turn to whatever issue they've got. That's so awesome. Okay, what other things did you learn? Just sharing that much. Any insights?
Notice in observation, sharing stuff that's actually the interpersonal, even though it may have taken 15 seconds or 60 seconds, made all the connection. It was interesting. Didn't matter what it was, if it was biology in school or concentrating in communications class. Holy cow, good luck. Or it was a cold 2 weeks ago. There's always something, or an ACT. The story about my daughter, she goes in the first time, she couldn't get through the tests. So she just wrote them because she couldn't concentrate. She went the next time, all doused with oils, dumped them on her or whatever. And she scored 4 points higher.
Nice. And made it through, right?
And made it through. She completed the tests.
Nice.
There's always, good grief, there's always something.
Yeah. You know, all those things that you just said, were those all showing a vulnerability? I'm struggling concentrating in my, or I needed help, my daughter was really struggling with this ACT. It's all sharing vulnerability. And that creates this bid for connection that's just, it naturally happens. So once we connect, we can share and change lives, but we have to connect first. And it starts with that vulnerability. Andy's a pro on this. He teaches this trains on this all day long. So now let's take it like not just the connection, but now the invitation with it. Okay. So if we don't invite, how many lives are we going to change? None, right? You can be nice to people all day and you can love them up, but if you don't invite them to change, there's just not the progress that we need, right? So let's practice just one of these invitations to whatever you're going to hold next. So if you're going to do a one-on-one next, I want you to practice that one. If you're going to do a class, practice that. But this is like inviting them to learn more, right? And these are all the ways that you can invite them to learn more. If they're interested in the business, could you start out with an invite to a business overview? Mm-hmm. Yeah, right?
That's where they're at.
Yep. Start out meeting their needs, okay? So just before you jump into that, these are just some tips on the bottom that I love. So be clear on what you're inviting them to do so they're not like, what did you just say? I'm not saying yes, you know? The confused mind says no. And let them know the value of investing their time. So I often use the approach, hey, you know, it took me 4 years to learn what you're going to learn in a little over an hour together next Thursday night. So what that knowledge is going to do for you is going to be so powerful. So I'm so excited for you to have that knowledge and invest your time in that way, because it's going to provide so many solutions for your family. Does that work best Thursday night at 7 or, you know, Friday morning meeting one-on-one? What works best for you? Okay. So I've kind of explained a little bit. I gave a little more punch, and then I gave her the option on the invite. Okay. 2 options. Again, strengthening relationships. We're always building trust all the time. So just keep those commitments, keep your word, keep strengthening relationships, keep planting those seeds, and it's going to be powerful. Okay. Yeah.
Quick question for you, but this is more like business opportunity.
Yeah, you're great.
That last point, I like that. Through multiple interactions. So there, as I was thinking of my people, I thought about somebody that's a yoga instructor. She's all like, she's from high school. I have not talked to her for years. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh, I don't want to just launch a new, hey, how have you been for the last whatever? Do you want to be like, so like the people you haven't
connected with
for a while, I mean, what's your approach? Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, I just need to start making contact.
I have played it both ways. There's been people that I'm like, oh, I'm just going to reach out to them on Messenger and I'm going to be like, man, I was thinking of you. And I try like the slow approach, but there's really not a lot to gel on with the slow approach. And I watched a bunch of people try it that way. They're like, I just want it to feel more natural and not like I'm just hitting them up for doTERRA. When, like if I will reach out to them, and usually nowadays I will do it in a video interaction. So Marco Polo or audio on Messenger. And I will just be like, oh my goodness, I just thought of you this morning. I am loving these essential oils and I thought of you and thought they might be a blessing to your world. How are you? This and this and this has been happening in my world. I love you so much and I wanted to send this out to you. I'd love to share some of these with you. Let me know where you're at and what I can do to support you. And if I will just be upfront and open like that, then 9 times out of 10, I just get they feel the love. They've got all kinds of things going on in their life. They're not going, Jenica forgot about me, you know? Yeah. But if you be authentic, they can feel that, Randall.
Can I add to that, which is we've all had that same mindset. And every time I have it, I end up thinking, that's all about me. because it is really all about, I don't want to be rejected. We didn't care whether people thought we'd be contacting 1,000 people a day. So,
True.
but the other thing is the right person doesn't really care if what you're doing, they're going to analyze it. I've actually shared Jeff McClellan's story to my team, and because they're so scared to talk to people. And I go, look, the guy who recruited me was the bookkeeper for a very successful couple in doTERRA. And I didn't analyze whether I was going to join based on how successful my friend was. I was probably making more money than he was. I probably know more people than he does. He just put the cookie in front of me, right? The famous Andy model. So all of Argentina knows that by now. Nice. Yeah, it works really well. So, and I go, I analyzed it based on what I wanted. I could care less whether Jeff was feeling scared or not scared, or whether he was going to do the deal for a long time or not. That's how a lot of our contacts are. We'll just put the thing out there, not caring what they think of us. The right person is going to say, I'm all over this thing, and I could care less that we haven't talked for 10 years because I need this right now in my life. So I have to be reminded of that a lot. That it's not about us. It's really about that person. They're going to do the thing. And so better do it with you than the person that bites them in 2 weeks. That's not you.
And if you're focused on serving them and helping them, how much fear is going to dominate what you're doing, right? The fear is just going to fall away, and you're going to be doing stuff to serve them. Great insight.
And how often do they say, "Oh, you're an answer to my prayer"? Yeah. Honestly, I've had that happen multiple times already. So one approach, are you thinking she might be a builder for you? Is that what you would hope? You'd want to partner with her?
So I'm 44. So I haven't talked to her since high school. But I just know she's a go-getter. I grew up in Santa Barbara. She's in Santa Barbara. She's a yoga instructor. She's just very into natural and health and wellness. So I mean, this would be right up her alley product-wise. But I think she's savvy, and like I could see her, and she's got influence. So I could see her being a good builder.
So what if you said something like, man, I've seen you shine on social media, and I am at this place in my world, and I thought of you when I was introduced to these beautiful oils. And if I could partner with anyone on the planet, I would want it to be you. You're such an influencer. You've done so much good. Like, can we get together? Can I send you some oils to try? When can we connect?
I love that you said because I know this. I mean, like it speaks to me because I've experienced this and I know this. But when you said like if you're thinking about them and serving them and how can you bless them, and how much fear is there in that, which is to me that scripture, that perfect love casteth out all fear. And I, whatever years ago, being an MTC teacher after my mission, teaching missionaries. One missionary was particularly nervous when we had our interview, and she was like, I love this gospel so much, and it's like super important to me. And so my fear is like, I'm afraid, like I think it's going to hurt me for people to reject it. And I was like, let's look up this scripture together. And we did. But it's just one little experience where, anyway, but I've thought about that so much over, like, so I don't know, I'm just, maybe it's going to speak to somebody else for me sharing, but if I can just remember, okay, how can I love this person? How can I help this person? How can I serve this person? It becomes more genuine, and it becomes an easier,
Yeah, we get out of the way and we can do the work.
And if you sent that email to me, I would be flattered. I'd be like, she just complimented me, said all these like great things about me. I may say no, but I'm not going to be like, I cannot believe that. 44 years. She's,
reaching out to me now.
Yeah, like you really come in with, this is what I see in you, and this is why I would want to partner with you. And it's going to give them a great day on a boost of themselves, if nothing else, So I say go right in and just say what you're wanting. I want to work with you because I think you're awesome.
Yeah, love it.
Easy,
okay,
right?
Turn to your partner. You got 2 minutes to practice the invitation part, right? So, which one are you going to do?
could try this one in class. I'll just pretend like I'm okay. I've been learning about essential oils. I've been learning about essential oils. They are making a huge difference in my energy, boosting, non-toxic. I know at your house, I struggled with people that yeah, I know you guys have like been super kind of strong immune system. Well, I'm teaching you short notes. My books on my health sciences, and that's what we're going to get next week. Okay, so I think I just I like how you did really talk about So I think people are about real place we like people so like for example, when you start to use the oils and you have experience, you're an expert because you know what it's deep So I always tell my people, even though you just barely started using it, you know more than the guy who's never done it. So just go in there with confidence, right? Like, oh yes, I have what you need. I can't feel good. I got the lavender. Let's see, the one on the line, kind of like, it's my colleagues, my health conscious friends, instead of doing 30 seconds,
No, I forgot to say switch.
Arena, and they'd be like, what? So do you know about the lifestyle?
No.
So I'm sure somebody talks to us and they just learn about things. And I'm a levy. And you say, I'm going to get a kick. So they do the class, get in oils, and use the with their kids.
Hey.
Bring it back. You know, don't decrease sugar.
How easy was that? Hey. We put together an email with some text blitz ideas. Sometimes when we're together like this, we like to do this kind of thing on a larger scale. Like, okay, here's some text language that you could just send out. Who are 5 people that you've been wanting to share samples with? Who are, 3 people that you want to host classes? And maybe you guys do things similar. But that just really helps get things going in the beginning. So we want to challenge you Now you take what you just did in these last 2 experiences and just, take that to the next level, which means you just keep opening your mouth like that and do like a text blitz. Maybe you guys do a challenge of like, okay, spend 30 minutes today prepping and getting those invitations out. So we're sending you some of the best wording from the text blitz winners at All of Leadership, like, so we do that. doTERRA will get together like 4,000 people and we'll take 15 minutes. And whoever wins that will look at their, wording and everything like that. So we're bringing you that. What did you realize in this? You have lots of options to invite people to, right? So a really important thing to do right now in our world today, with a lot of things changing to online, is meet them where they're at. So wherever that is, if it's you need to talk to them on Zoom or you need to talk to them on the phone while they're picking up their kids from school, like, you can do a class literally anytime, anywhere. Okay? Any other insights that you came away with from that? On Messenger classes, yeah?
Yeah, a lot.
We knew we wouldn't have a whole hour to go over a class tonight, so you could see the ins and outs of a class, but I really love to watch a class or listen to a class. So here's a DVD that you could watch and you could share with someone. I have extras. You're welcome to take these extras, but we like using this as a quick way to share the class, right? It can be anytime, anywhere. In that email that you're going to get as a follow-up, we'll also have the links to the online class, which are just at sharesuccess.com/class. I mean, anybody, you can send that online class to anybody and then just answer their specific questions or to address that, okay? Any questions there? We've hit our 8:05 mark. Can I have permission to go a few more minutes and complete some of these thoughts? If anybody needs to take off, please feel free. Dee, take me back.
Collect the full screen.
Somehow, you're great. What were you going to say? sharesuccess.com/class. And we'll send it in the email too. Thank you. So a key to present in the very beginning, you don't have to know how to teach a whole class, okay? So you're going to start out, a lot of you are starting at the same time. So sometimes you just watch a class and you jump in, right? But you can also invite somebody to come and model it for you. Invite your enroller to help you teach your first couple classes. That's normal. And then there's this process of letting go, right? Of like, hey, I've seen it modeled, now I'm moving forward, okay? So you can share both of these presentations, but this just gives you a quick outline of it. So you can know, hey, if I'm talking to someone about the product in a class or a one-on-one, this is what it's gonna look like, right? And this is what a business class is going to look like. And then you're just tailoring it to meet their needs, right? A lot of you know how to book classes from classes. That was pretty random territory in doTERRA. Not a lot of people knew how to do that. And the people that do that are really successful. So we use a keychain to duplicate that. And we have the language for that booking a class right there for you to use in a class. So if people do this right, you can book classes with 50% of the people that are in the room. So just use that language there. Let's practice some enrolling, okay? Because this is usually the other biggest thing that we get tripped up on, right? And again, if we keep that mindset of, I'm here to serve. How much can you serve if they don't get oils in their home? Yeah, you're not really making a difference. It's devastating to me when I can't close someone. Then I'm like, oh, I've got to do better. What is it that I can do more because this person needs the oils in their life? I know it's going to make a difference, so I'm going to learn. And these tips are some of my very favorites to help, actually, the overcoming objections. So a lot of times people will not know which kit to order. You'll teach the whole class and get to the kit and they won't know what to do. They're looking for some direction to you. And then these are just some great questions that I like to ask. What are you working on? Like, what were your health priorities again? Let's take a look at that. What are you working on? You know, because they'll dial into that and you can help them find the kit that's going to help them the most. Here's other questions. What kit would best meet your needs? If I were you, I would ... right? So this class is super simple. You'll see how it's dialed in, but it helps. This whole middle section, you can just tailor it to the people's needs. Whether you're teaching how to stay well all winter long and honing in on that.
I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
So back on page.
Yep.
Your shelf.
Yep.
How do you explain? Yeah. How do they work?
Do you want me to tell you these again?
Yeah.
Okay. This one is, I can remember these. It's here.
Medicine, right?
Hang on. Prepared for, be ready for anything. It's be ready for anything right here. Be renewed with self-care and be nourished with daily habits. Yep. Someday we might even get doTERRA to print it on there too. It's amazing. But that really helps me. Like I just tell people to write that in and then they're like clicking, oh yeah, I need support in all of those areas of my life. Right?
Ready for anything. Sorry,
Be ready for anything, right? This is my like emergency preparedness and life preparedness right up here for life's little emergencies. This is what I'm going to reach for. And then be renewed with self-care. All of these items are self-care items that are all natural, non-toxic, right? This whole middle tells a story. If you tell a story well and you can engage people in that story, how powerful is that? And then this bottom one is be nourished with daily habits. And if you forget this part right here, like this is gold right here, getting them to talk about their issues. Otherwise, do you know what they sit here thinking? I don't need essential oils. We don't have any problems. I don't have any problems, you know? And until they actually physically have to write it down and they're sitting there in that uncomfortable silence and everybody else is writing on their paper, they won't dig deep enough, most people. They're just like checking their phone for the next text message, like unless you invite people to dig deep.
Because then it connects them to the information and the oils.
So when that happens,
Their
you say
pain.
you can work on concentration.
Thank you. I need it. So can you see how when you connect their pain and you show them how doTERRA is the solution, you're a solutions provider. Randall.
I will back that up and Natalie and Maggie know my issue with classes. I moved here from California a week after I signed up to doTERRA. And my mindset is everybody in Utah has the oils. Whatever, that's my mindset. But when I'm down in Argentina training, I will say I can guarantee you the moment so I actually do classes down there much better than I do here. So
You have hundreds of people come to your classes down there.
But I wasn't always doing this though. The moment I actually took 30 big pens with me and printed, because they don't have printers down there in everybody's home. We're gonna have an oil in every home, but they don't have printers in every home. So we make a black and white copy of that page that Natalie just showed, where they write their conditions. And the first couple times I went down there, and then I went down there a few times ago, and I said I'm gonna try something new, and I made them write down what 3 things they want to feel less of, which they come up with, a lot. And that was the moment it shifted. And I could tell every time they did that in a class, whether it was 30 people there, 15 people, the results from that class trumped any class where you just get up and say, think of 3 things you don't want to feel more of, and nobody really takes pen to the paper. And so we've trained on that down there now, and so they're religious about, like, they have to do that. If we don't see them doing that, we bust out some samples of Deep Blue, and you incentivize people. And Natalie's the queen of this. If people aren't doing what you want them to do, you just simply pull out a sample and say, I've got a sample for the first person that shares it, and it's like, oh, pens on paper, you know. But even a 50-cent sample of Deep Blue, which is all those pouches cost 50 cents, that gets people moving. And so, you know, but I fought Natalie a long time on this because it came from another MLM mentality of how things should work or whatever. But the class does not work unless their pen is writing the 3 things they want to feel less of. And then all of a sudden, they now connect. Somebody mentioned it. They now connect the dots. And I could see, in this case, Argentines going, oh, I do need lavender or whatever. Oh, I do need Deep Blue. It changed everything, you know. As you start to hear.
A whole new level right there.
But seriously, it's a game changer. They wow. Right now, classes almost a waste.
And some of you that came to see the class I taught here at doTERRA, what else did I do that you noticed to talk about their issues? Like, a lot of them were in this mode from the second we started, right? And some of your one-on-ones, like, they're going to start at the park and they're just like, whatever, you know? And you can tell by their body language where they're at and where their openness is, right? But in that class that I taught here to the account reps that were like, whatever, I don't know. I don't need to know what you know. I'm like, okay, what health issues do you have that you haven't yet solved with the oils? And we just started writing them up on the board, right?
And they were young kids. A lot of them were young, and they all had stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's shocking, right?
Yeah.
And in the world we live in, it's so easy just to like pass that by. What do we even pay attention to the stomach ache because it's been going for 2 years, you know? Like, we just like press it down and da-da-da. This is totally common for most people. Like, that companion I was telling you about of my son's, he told Max, well, maybe my mom can use the oils to help her spirituality or something like that. She has this pressing physical issue, but he's just like, there's nothing we can do about that, you know? So connect that dot and it will be so powerful. So in the close, here's just a close sample real quick. So we've talked about all of these solutions, and I'm so excited for you to have them in your home because having these in my home has made all the difference for me. I thought I had solutions before, but with doTERRA, it's like a whole new level that I have to draw on whenever I need. And that's really powerful for me, and it's such a gift to me as a mother, as a wife, as an individual, just helping my own life. So I told you in the beginning I would let you know how, not just about the oils, but how to bring them into your home. So this is how you bring them into your home. You can, they have this retail or wholesale part, and sometimes people go into that. You know, you can buy them retail from me, or you can get them at wholesale. A lot of times I will just start out with, you simply can get the best prices. You can get your oils at wholesale if you simply choose the kit. Okay, so you're going to choose the kit that works best for you and your needs. We've talked about some of those needs tonight. And so we're just going to dial in. You know, you're going to look them up in the book. We're going to see what those are, and then we can match up the kit that's best for you. This is the kit that has everything in it, nearly everything that doTERRA sells right here. Great value, great bonuses with that. You'll see this right over here, the Natural Solutions Kit. This is what I started with. It has a wide range of things, not just oils, but you're experiencing a lot of the living products, and actually everything we talked about tonight comes in this kit. the Natural Solutions Kit. So if you want to create this natural medicine cabinet in your own home, Natural Solutions Kit is a powerful way to do that. You'll notice, you save about $250 off of wholesale, and then you're going to get an additional 100 product credits for free with this kit. So it's an incredible investment to get started that way and bring the oils into your home. There's also the Home Essentials Kit, which it's great. It has a diffuser. It has the oils in 15 ml bottles. I actually go here first. Usually I say, and this is a sampler kit. This is our lowest price kit. It's just a sampler kit of these oils for you to experience. And this Home Essentials Kit is also a great deal. So this Home Essentials Kit, you're going to get 3 times the oil for less than twice the price. Okay. And you get a diffuser with that. So really good value here as well. This month we have a special for this kit, and above. And you'll get, and I have these products right out so you can see the Copaiba soft gels and the Copaiba essential oil and the lemon eucalyptus or
yellow
mandarin. Thank you.
And that's what they get
with a 200 PV order. So I can just add that into my clothes to sweeten the deal and help people go right here.
A really good question. If they are like the convention kit, if they want to enroll, can they enroll with the convention kit and get the free oil?
They can, but they would have to pay the $35 fee because the convention kit is not an enrollment kit, right?
Oh, okay.
So these kits, they would not have to pay an enrollment fee because it's already wrapped into the cost, and doTERRA is just passing on that savings. But let me just go back to the close here just to finish up. So those are the kits. I like to simply choose the kit that's best for you. And you're going to want to know the smartest ways to buy going forward. And that's with this loyalty rewards program. What I love about doTERRA is that there's no obligation and they are really great at giving back to their loyal customers. So most people get a loyalty rewards order where they get the products that they need to have a healthy, natural life and home. And they do that at a great discount because doTERRA gives back to them starting at 10% back, and then it grows up to 30% back. So for example, if you spent $100, you're starting out getting $10 back in free product credit, they're the equivalent, and then up to $30 back for every 100 that you're spending. And I just teach it that way because it's the simplest way for people to get it. This talks about the free product of the month if they're ready to do that. But I keep this LRP conversation in just, a minute or two. So whether you want to use the product and better your lifestyle, whether you want to share with the people that you may have thought of during this class, or whether you want to build an income and make a difference, doTERRA is a powerful vehicle, and you can choose any of these ways, and we're great with that. You just choose how you want doTERRA to bless your life and how you want to be involved in doTERRA. Whatever you choose, know that you're changing the world with every bottle of essential oils that you use. It's helping people in other parts of the world that have grown that and planted that and brought that to us. So here's a price list so you can see all the details. All the oils have different pricing. And then here is where you choose to be a kit, where you choose your kit, right? So you're just going to choose the kit that works for you, fill in your details in the shaded portion. If you know what you want for your next order, you can fill that in right here. And then again, closing details. If you would just like to use the products, you're going to fill out this green form. If you want to share the products or build a business, you're going to fill out the purple. So thanks so much for being with us tonight. We've got treats over there, but I'm happy to answer any questions and help you get the kit that's best for you, right? And you've talked about the booking special already before, earlier in the class, and okay. So
what was the booking? The keychain?
Yeah.
Can I make a comment real quick? So she said something. She said most people will start with this kit, and it's a proven thing that most people want to do what most people do. So saying that is actually like a
The
a little,
Biden remarks.
yeah, to say most people will do this.
And that was the two
Natural solutions.
The natural solutions kit. I started out with this. I also talked about most people purchase their products with the LRP. So just that power of suggestion all along. Okay.
Find not only that, by the time you get to this part, because it's the end and they've heard all the great stuff about oils, and then they go, oh, $550. Like I just came wanting to hear a little about. I didn't plan on spending like.
Yeah.
Does that trip people up often or not?
You know, it
When
just
you show them the
depends.
value.
Yeah, it depends on how much value has been built. And if you need to build more value, you can do a little bit more of a lifestyle overview or something. If they have some concerns, if you can tell they're on the line about getting that, you're like, hey, let's meet together and put together your wellness plan, your personalized wellness plan, okay? And let's go a little bit deeper and make sure we've got the right things for you. You could totally offer that value before you've even closed the deal, right? So if they need a little bit more of that and they felt like it was a one-night thing and now somebody's asking me for $500, but you know, if people understand the value and they're making the connection of how that's going to help them, they'll totally go for that. If not, they'll start out with the $250.
I don't think you'll find people in that headspace. They just heard stories about this and about that. Like, I want the $3,000 package.
I
And they're gonna
know.
be mad they can't get that.
I think you guys are used to selling $100, so it feels like a stretch. But
I mean,
no, I think that's
Okay, great question.
Yep.
That I commonly get. What kind of, is there any money back guarantee, any
you know what?
unhappiness, this oil stinks, I don't want it, sort of thing? Like what's your answer to those questions?
I love this 30-day product return policy.
Okay.
And so I always just say doTERRA stands behind their product, 100%, right? So they can get their full money back. If it hasn't been opened, they get like 90% back if it's been opened and da-da-da. Like there's specifics, and then it goes like for after 90 days, it goes down this much and da-da-da. So it's a pretty good return policy.
Okay. My other question is, if somebody, obviously this is the door opening of, great, would you be interested in hosting a class to help you earn the money that you would, so that you can get the kit that you want? I don't have the money, and this is the kit that I really want. What's your verbiage?
And I say, well, I'm so glad you said that, because I love in doTERRA that you are a limitless creator. So let's put together a class and get your key people there. For saying you're going to host, let's fill up some of these samples in this keychain so you have a few oils to use and you can share some experiences at the class and start sharing those to help people get there. But let's just create the gap, between the kit you want and what you have right now by hosting that class. And you can make that money from your fast starts, and we'll sign. I'm trying to think of the simplest way to say it. It kind of just sounds like, hey, we'll complete your class and then we'll see how much money you have coming in fast starts, and we can get the perfect kit for you with that.
So
we'll
is
just
that what
bridge
you
that
do?
gap.
You take the host and all the people that buy kits, they go under her. So she needs to be a wellness advocate then.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then she gets all that fast start money to just say she wants the natural solutions kit, but her husband's only gonna let her spend $200. So then how many people do we need to get at the class and close them at the 20% to bridge that gap? Pretty cool, huh? That's doTERRA's Hostess Rewards program, is Fast Start. Okay, we add in the little stuff because we know people would do stuff for a keychain, And the way I use the keychain is you commit to host a class tonight. I'm like such in a different world. So you commit to host a class tonight, and you're gonna get this keychain, and you can take it home with you. You choose the kit that you want and get signed up tonight, and we'll put 10 drops of the basic oils in these 8 bottles for you, or 10 bottles for you.
You do that right, like as people are leaving, you just do that before that person leaves.
I just let them do it. I'm like, oh, hey, just use the family physician oils and put 10 drops, 10 to 15 drops in each bottle. And I let them handle it, and then I'm helping the other people. Okay, and you'll get them closed that night and booking a class. And those oil drops, what are they going to do? They're going to go out and multiply. So you're wanting to pass that on. Okay.
So do most people?
Did that answer your other questions about clothes?
I guess that was just 2 questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do most people host in order to get like for that reason, or do you find people buying a big kit and then I would love to share this all over the map?
All kinds of people host without any reward because they use the oils for a couple days and they're like, oh my heck.
There's not much value.
So, we have people that like their husbands make millions of dollars and they just host classes because they love what the oils do. And they do it for their community. They do it to give back. They'll do it with homeless people and let's do massages, like rich people in all countries that I know. It's kind of cool to see the ways that they give back. So anybody, if you need to go. But I'm going to tell whoever can stay about how to do the lifestyle overview. You guys, this is super simple. We can do a quick recording of this, a whole Zoom, so that you can each experience this, okay? So we're gonna do that, but basically this Live Guide is after they've got their kit, they've got it in the house. Thank you so much, guys. So good to be with you. After they've got their kit, they've had it for like 5 days, 2 to 5 days, they've had a chance to start using it, then you're gonna have an appointment to go through this, okay? And this, you're gonna use like a magazine, exposing them to some more of the other opportunities, because how much can they handle in an hour, right, for that class? And so you're gonna, in the end, you're gonna dive deep with a book or an app and get them a plan right here so they have their 3-month LRP plan. And then you're gonna help them lose any concerns that they have about LRP so they can go forward with that. And then on the back, they've got all those ways to learn more. They know how to log into their account and change their LRP. You can even do that together. And this is where you're inviting them, right? If they didn't respond to the hosting a class in the beginning, we're inviting them again right here. It's just this visual cue of like, oh yeah, would you like to share? Have you thought of others that you would like to share these oils with? I'd be happy to support you in that, or, we can figure out what works best for you. Sometimes they'll just want to refer people. Sometimes they'll want to share and host a class themselves. Okay. And then, always the business invitation. So if you do this within 5 days of them teaching a class, what also happens? You're going to know whether you should move them, right? So this is going to play into your full strategy, okay? So you know whether they want to stay there or where they should be. And this page in the launch guide is showing you, oh my goodness, okay, if they just want to live, I've gone through the Live Guide with them, and I'm gonna send them occasional product stuff, and I'm gonna invite them to convention and da-da-da. But if they want to share, then these are our next steps. If they want to build, then we're gonna take them to the build guide and da-da-da. So this is in your launch guide, and it's just kind of showing you the process, okay? This is the process again. This is what's gonna happen. And it gives you your little to-do list to get them set up right, okay? We went over a bunch of this last page already in the beginning. What other questions do you have about setting things up right, or anything else about just launching your business?
I have a question.
Yep.
So I currently don't have any builders, but I have a lot of people who I feel could become builders, or at least start buying doTERRA. So would it be wise of me to focus on one person at a time and then place people under them, or would it be better for me to just kind of work with all of them and just have them all separate?
That's a great question. And the answer is it depends. So let's just talk about one of the people that you're talking about, you know? Like, do you have one person?
Crystal.
Okay. So where's Crystal at? Have you shared oils with her yet?
No.
Okay. So now you know what to do, right? You're going to share a sample. You're going to share some experiences that you've had with the oils, right? All of this. If you want to get more comfortable sharing, you just spend some more time in that share guide. Practice those scripts and everything, and you've got that. So Crystal, if you wait till Crystal is ready to go and you don't plant any more seeds while you're waiting for Crystal to decide if she's going to grow in doTERRA, what's going to happen? And you're going to get frustrated because you're like, Crystal, I need you to sign up and I need this to work, right? You're going to over focus on her. She's going to feel pressured, But what if you plant a seed with Crystal tomorrow, and you plant a seed with Susie, and you plant a seed with Judy, and you plant this seed over here, and then, this one starts to grow a little bit. They're like, oh, they're interested, she comes to a class, she gets a kit, we start seeing who's growing. As these seeds grow, you're thinking about, okay, where are they going to grow best? And you're thinking, oh, Crystal actually comes to a class and she's awesome. Great. Where are we gonna place her? You want to work with her. So you talk to her and you have that conversation. Hey, I'm doing this for a business. I would love to do this. You go through the build guide with her. And if she says yes, then she's your, Keely right here. And this gal, you feel like, oh, she's going to work awesome with Crystal. That's where she'll grow best. So I'm going to place her here. This gal is a customer. We're going to place her under there. They live in the same area. I bet she could really help her on the oils. And Crystal would love to work with her. This gal is a sharer or a builder. So that's just a little bit of an example. But if you open up to this page, it's going to tell you exactly, like, oh, okay, my business partners are going across my front line. My builders and shares, last page, my builders and shares are going on my second line, and my customers are going on my third one. And that's just my general rule to follow with them. So I'm just going to keep planting seeds until I start seeing where they're at.
So then I would just have Crystal be the sponsor,
right, of this person, right? And then Judy's the sponsor of this person. Okay. Great. Did you guys see this little list right here? This orange list is so powerful. So just use that as your filter, as you're choosing your builders and leaders and your business partners right here. It's got the top list of people who are successful in doTERRA, typically relationship-oriented or influential, open to a natural, healthy, active lifestyle. They don't have to have all of these, but if they have a few, that's going to be powerful for you. So this is all you need to know to get to Elite. That's all you need to know. And once you get to Elite, you're going to pop into the train guide, and that will help you know what you need to know to help other people get to Elite, right? And once you know the basic, Eric Worre says, once you know the the key principles, the basic rank in your company, you can duplicate to anything. So we like to say, you know, if you want to be successful in doTERRA, you go elite and then you create an elite factory. It's not a diamond factory. It's not anything else. It's just an elite factory. Because when you can help other people do what you're doing right now, then there's no limits of the good that can come from that. Okay? How are you feeling about placements and choosing builders and finding builders?
Ideally, we just want to have our 3 in place before we're.
I mean, if you have one, you can have one. If you don't have all 3 of them, here's one idea that I did. So I knew what one of these people was, and she was going gangbusters, and I'm like, okay, if I go at the same time, then we can both become founders and da-da. But I didn't know who these 2 people were, right? So I called my sister up and she said, well, I don't want to do network marketing with you. And I said, but will you be a placeholder just for a little while to help me? And she still hasn't wanted to do doTERRA with me this whole time. Like, it's great. But she was in this spot until I found the right one, which was my other sister, to transfer into this spot. So you could have a placeholder. Okay?
How long can they hold the place?
As long as you need to until
And
you
then
find
whenever
that
she's
person.
out, were you ordering under her? Like she was just a, or was she actually ordering getting product?
I was probably, this was before I knew what was right and wrong. Like I would ask them to order, you know, for dad or something like that and say, hey, I'll reimburse you or something. You can make an agreement there. This could be your neighbor, you know, this could be someone that you trust that you're like, hey, I haven't found the right person for this, but will you do this? And here is the transfer agreement. I want you to sign, you know.
So is that an official transfer agreement? I'm sorry, or is that something that you?
It's a
constructed?
transfer agreement from doTERRA.
Sorry.
Search online. No. It's good.
Easy
That's a
to
great
do?
question.
Easy to transfer?
It happens.
What is the policy with that? Like, what can you put under other people, or can you reimburse people, or what are the rules on that?
So, for example, I just needed somebody right here because I had all these customers that needed to go here that, you know, were my aunt and my cousin and but they weren't really builders, right? So we didn't want to get the wrong person in the wrong place. So, I can't remember what I did then, but the policy is that you can't be, like, for example, what did they find out the other day? Like, there's certain buy-in limits and you can't go over those buy-in limits. And there are a lot of people that might, you know, they might have like one kid here and another kid here to fill their last of their Power of 3 1500, and they might pay for both of these. And doTERRA is not gonna ever do anything about that. But it's healthier if those are all real LRPs, you know, and it's not done like that. So there's not really you should be buying, what would you say for that? What's the?
Personal choice stuff.
You shouldn't be, what's the language? You shouldn't be like gaining from more than one account. Does that make sense? So like, this can't really, this needs to be a placeholder really managing this. This can't be like, oh, this account is Amy and this account is Amy too. It's getting paid for on Amy's credit card. It's getting, you know, the money is going into Amy's account. That's having 2 accounts.
You can't do that, right?
No. So 1 account per married couple. And this has to be like a real literal placeholder to do that. And
that
doTERRA won't
placeholder-
teach you that, but.
That placeholder gets money, that placeholder, so like in order to say.
So I would just do this as a temporary solution, right? If you need somebody there for 2 months until you find the right person and you just don't feel like you have the right person, great. But if you don't have to do that and you just need to do different invitations this week and you need to get clear on those people, you just go and get clear on those people. Because a lot of times it's just that we haven't gone, you know, to these people yet. Haven't given them the chance.
So then once they are out of there, the placeholder is no longer there, where do those 3 underneath them go?
They're all gonna be where you
can put someone right where they were and have them have those 3, or?
So let's say this is your sister, this is Jenica's sister, Jane. And Jane stays here till Jenica talks to her yoga friend, and her yoga friend is like, I am so in. And in the meantime, when Jenica signed people up, she placed customers down here, you know, under this, you know, one gal right here, but she was looking for the right person to lead this whole team. And now yoga gal is gonna come right into that. Everything else is gonna stay the same. And Jane, the sister, can sit out for a while, 6 months, and then she can come back in as a customer under the other sister that chose to build over here. Like, you following them?
So I still don't quite get, so they need to be the one making all the payments and doing the $100 order every
Right.
time. It shouldn't be you reimbursing them or.
So if it's their credit card and you've made a deal that like,
Yeah.
hey, I know you don't, maybe you aren't using the oils, but I would like to help Dad get the oils, you know, can we ship this to him and I'll just reimburse you for that? Then that would be okay.
Make under the table.
In my mind, something like that is great. You just can't be benefiting from both accounts. So she would need to keep the money from this, you know. It would be a temporary thing. Okay. So I would say spend your energy finding your business partners and doing it right from the beginning, and then you don't have to go back and redo anything. Feeling good? We just need more peppermint. Thank you so much for what you've given and bringing your energy and your time. We know it's super valuable, and we're so excited for you and what you are sharing. You're going to show us something?
Oh no, it's just almost down.
Okay. So you have so much in front of you, and now you've got everything down of all of the basics. Any last questions you can ask me for sure on the side? Anything else as a group? Let's go to sleep.
Yeah. I just need to ask you some questions.
Yeah, for sure.